Hello, everybody, and welcome here to Atlanta Motor Speedway here for the VRS Trucks Series. Once again, here at Atlanta Speedway for the Fr8 208. Here, brought to you by Fr8 Engines. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado. I'm back in the booth once again. We have Gavin Austin. Gavin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's a lovely Monday night. Excited to see these these trucks hit the track tonight, and I just can't wait for some great racing.
I definitely agree, and it's great to have Gavin back in the booth. Unfortunately, some uh, things out of our doing, prevented him from being in the booth for Daytona. Actually, Gavin being at the Daytona 500 prevented him from being here with us for that Daytona race with a lot of cool finishes and a lot of good racing. But speaking of super speedway racing, here at Atlanta, um, drafting track where teammates are going to be in the play here. So, Gavin, what do you think is going to be something you're going to be looking for here with a little under 7 minutes of practice left? What are you looking at for these drivers to work with or potentially do here at this, super speedway style track?
Well, I've been seeing a lot of teammates working together, figuring out the right way to push their teammates because you don't want to get them too swirly and, ending up wrecking your own teammate. So I've been seeing a lot of people practicing, pushing teammates, switching back and forth. I've also been seeing a lot of teammates and drivers practicing pit stops. You got that turn 3 pit entrance here at Atlanta. So a lot of drivers are out on track and in practicing that. You don't want to speed or do anything. So that's going to be a key point if we get to the point tonight. If we get any green flag pit stops, I think that's going to be a thing we'll be able to talk to about tonight.
Yeah, that's a great point. That pit road entrance right now, we're showing you everybody at home that this new pit road that iRacing implemented, and NASCAR implemented this after they saw some potential dangerous spots with the pit entrance, right? With Atlanta being only a mile and a half track, it's definitely a lot shorter than your typical Talladega, Daytona super speedway track that are 2+ miles in length, right? With Atlanta only being a mile and a half, they decided to put in this rule where you have to start, at this going down the backstretch, and it's definitely a lot different compared to what all these drivers are used to. Just trying to get as much as they can under braking to get down to that line without speeding, versus now where you have to merge on during the backstretch here, going into turn 3 and 4.
Yeah, definitely very, very interesting. I think it involves a little bit more strategy as well. Also, 60 miles per hour, so you're not going fast around turn 1 and around turn 3 and 4. So a lot of strategies involved to not lose a lot of track time. And I'm excited to see how these drivers work through that.
You see the number 46 of Jordan Slater showing you. I mean, get on the brakes really hard here. 45 miles per hour speed, pit road speed here at Atlanta. It's not the 60, 55 miles an hour like at Daytona. It's you got to make an abrupt stop to get these cars slowed down here at Atlanta. So obviously this is a super speedway where teammates are going to be at hand here, and you look at drivers kind of like Josh Stoles, right? In this number 99 machine, P3 in practice here, you see him parked at the exit of pit road here, maybe waiting for someone to work with. But he doesn't have a teammate. He's by himself here in the VRS Truck Series, by himself in that number 99 machine, racing for a solo car team versus someone like maybe like a Majors Garage who showed a lot of speed there at Daytona, worked really well together. It's going to be something that some of these drivers are going to have to work together. We have a couple of single man teams like the Backwood Bandits Racing team, John Connor Racing with the 61 of Patrick McPeak, Josh Stoles with Leach Brothers Motorsports, and Rodney Pitcock in a number 1 machine with Vader Racing. Maybe those guys, those smaller teams, maybe those solo teams, they might have to try to find each other and kind of help each other out here.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Also, I mean, they got to make friends out there on track. They can't be racing aggressive against some other, like, if you hurt one member on a team's feelings, that can affect the whole team's feeling, They'll go ahead and tell their teammates, don't work with this guy. He left me out to dry. So you got to be careful with who you work with and who you don't. You got to be friendly, which is hard to do in racing. Very hard to do. Definitely at a super speedway like this.
No, exactly. You'll see that these trucks drive a lot differently at Atlanta than they do at maybe a Talladega or at a Daytona. This is going to be a handling track for these trucks. With how the track is built, it's a mile and a half. It's just you don't have the banking that supports kind of traditional super speedway 3x3, 4x4 racing like you would see at a Daytona or a Talladega. Handling is going to matter here, and I feel like having help here is going to be the biggest asset to you here at the end of the race. If you do piss off or may upset, someone, and you could potentially lose 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars that are willing to work with you here at Atlanta at the end there, and that's just going to be a huge disadvantage to someone. You saw Nazi Major got coming in here hot, coming in here with a podium from Daytona. Looks very aggressive there at Daytona, so maybe he can come in here with some of that momentum and potentially come out here. Maybe with a win, maybe with another podium.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting with a little bit over a minute left in practice, and we'll jump into qualifying pretty soon as, you see a couple drivers out on track running a few laps, maybe practicing pit entry one more time. But man, I can't wait for all these trucks to hit the track in a pack. It's going to be very entertaining for not only me and Christian, but all the viewers watching at home. And I know these drivers are excited too.
Atlanta is one of those unique tracks, right? Where everybody, we've had a couple of years with this track, but it's always fun to see, the adaptability. We see the 19 Dominic Lee, P6 right now. Thought he was going to try to come down pit road, but like he's slow down here on the backstretch. But, it's fun to see how things change here at this track. Everybody hasn't really been as acquainted to this, super speedway. And when you think of super speedway, you think of Talladega. You don't really think of Atlanta now, just because it's a new track. But interesting to see what these guys can do here in qualifying as it gets ready to start. Obviously, a big thing to think about is with these open set trucks, right? You might have maybe an actual blowout here in qualifying at a super speedway.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. Qualifying starting right now. Cars are going to start lining up on track. Um, yeah, we're going to get to racing real soon. Man, I can't wait. The energy um, is booming right now. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. It's definitely going to be a show tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely very easy to be enthusiastic about how this race could potentially go. Look at the finishes we just had in real life here at Atlanta. Unfortunately, we had caution shortened races for the trucks in Xfinity and the Cup Series, but great racing throughout the whole weekend, throughout the school there, and went at Atlanta, and then the other two caution shortened races with the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, but still really good racing throughout here. Looking at Zach Johnson, actually an open charter car, so he's going to have to qualify his way into the race. That's something we haven't really talked about during the pre-race. With this VRS Truck Series, you're not guaranteed a spot if you didn't get put onto a team early here in the preseason. So someone like this 33, Noah Hamilton in the 69, I see also has that I next to his name. Some of these guys are going to have to qualify their way on speed here to get into the race.
Yeah, looks like he already has a little bit of left rear damage too in front of the wheel well. Not exactly sure what happened, but hopefully won't affect him much on speed as he's coming to finish his first lap. We'll see where it puts him. It's a 31-1, currently second. Sorry, currently first. He's slowing it down.
Remember, these guys only get one lap of qualifying, so that is his qualifying attempt right there. Just like in real life, with these super speedways, it's a one and done. So we'll see if he can keep that. And now going back down to P3, but let's go ahead and look at a driver who is going to be locked into the race here. Jacob Quill on this number 77 machine, racing for Lucky 7 Motorsports.
Yeah, Jacob Quill, excited to see how he's going to do. Me and Christian know him well. He's been in the booth with us a couple times, so it's nice seeing him on track. But he's on his out lap right now, getting ready to come out of turn 4 to start his lap in that Toyota yellow and purple 77. Nice looking scheme there. So you see him rolling into turn 1 right now, getting ready to come out of turn 2.
And Jacob showed a lot of confidence in the media day that the Crown Jewel Racing League showed. He thought he had a lot of speed, and he thought he was going to come in here, and he said, "I'm in here to win races. I'm in here to win a championship." So Jacob Quill, we obviously know, me and Gavin know him very well from being a part of the HVTV family. Very aggressive, very happy, and wants to come down here, and we know he's going to be quick.
Yeah, very, very cool seeing him out on track setting laps. Um, and man, a lot of these drivers are already setting their laps, 31 to be exact. Trucks that have gone out so far.
See,
Man, very, very interesting.
Dominic Lee coming out, gonna. This is his out lap, so obviously you see him coming out of pit. So we'll see what Dominic Lee and this number 19 Ford Performance machine can do here.
And that's a nice looking truck right there. That shows some speed. And I think Dominic will set a good lap here. Just watching him in practice, he was running pretty decently fast out there, but here he is starting his lap, carrying a lot of speed. Now going into turn 1 and 2.
And you see that even, here at Atlanta, they kind of qualify a little bit different. They kind of do kind of hug the line a lot more than you would see at Atlanta. I mean, like at a Daytona or a Talladega, where you kind of just let the truck wash up to carry the momentum. You see a lot of these drivers really wrapping and keeping it down on that red and white line. But coming out of turn 4, see what this lap is. Looks like a 30.1. That's good enough for P12.
One thing I do want to mention that race control is going to have to look over. Our pole sitter in second place, Chris Mathis and Boyd Hogan, both cut the apron, words from other drivers, finishing their laps, which gains them extra time. So we're going to see what race control says about that, because those two drivers did end up doing that to finish the laps.
30 seconds left in quali. I don't know if the driver's going to get in, but here's Chase George trying to make
Yeah, I
his.
don't think there's enough time.
Yeah, I don't know if Chase is going to have enough time to get out there and run a lap. 15 seconds. Yeah, I just don't think there's any way that he's going to be able to get out there. Obviously, Chase is, I believe, not a chartered car, so I think he might be packing it up early potentially.
Yeah, didn't get enough time. Didn't get in the session early enough. As he had joined the session right as qualifying had started, so definitely joined a little bit late. And didn't get to set a lap in, but qualifying is over. Unofficially, Chris Mathis is our pole sitter with Boyd Hogan on his outside. Um, so we're gonna see if that stands. Um, but man, this is I'm excited to see how this race is gonna play out. I mean, a bunch of drivers, um, have been practicing um, all weekend long to get to this point, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, 36 trucks. I mean, you don't really get to see a lot. A lot of the truck series don't have a lot unless it's a truck series only league. This is, pretty awesome to see. I mean, a 30 plus truck field in a league like this, where this is kind of still a developmental series to get these drivers up and going, to get up into the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. So really cool to see, 36 plus trucks at least signed up to try to get out here and qualify their way up here to run here at Atlanta here. But also interesting, we talked about the qualifying efforts and stuff like that. Some leagues let those drivers cut the apron. It's not that big of a deal. iRacing lets you do it. But I'm not unsure of what their race control is going to do here. I don't see any EOLs or anything given out quite yet, so maybe they are in the green here. But most of the drivers in here, obviously, these drivers do have a lot of tools in the chest, Gavin, to adjust, especially with the open set. Whether that's they could have a quality set, they could have a race set, they can adjust the brake bias, the steering ratio, just to make these trucks drive a little bit better for them.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. One of our, uh, I guess, by themselves drivers, all alone, no teammates. Josh Stoltz, the number 99 machine, did end up qualifying in the top 10. He will be starting ninth, so great job by him. He talks about how he's all alone for this season and today's race, so we're going to see how he does. A long race, 135 laps, so he has a lot of time, to cook up some strategy, but Great qualifying job by him starting in the top 10.
Yeah, we'll get your starting lineup here. Presented by High Velocity TV, we saw Chris Mathis and Boyd Hogan in that front row. We're going to see Blake Rubuck and Mike George starting in P4. Rounding out row 3 is going to be William Ransone with Noah Nicholson starting in that P6 spot. P7 is going to be filled by Jordan Slater with Jacob Quill. We saw that quali lap. He's going to sit there in that PA spot. Josh Lowes, we just talked about him, kind of the lone man here, sitting there in P9, and rounding out the top 10 is going to be Noah Hunt.
In row 6, Rodney Pidcock in the number 1 machine. On his outside is Dominic Lee. Right behind them in row 7, Lucas Edwards in the 87 machine and Zach Johnson. Matthew Campbell and Noah Hamilton rounds up our row 8. On to row 9, Matthew Owens and Corey Mott. Row 10, Carl Field and Michael Sellers. Behind them. Oh.
You see Jared Ferreira back there in that 6 machine. He's going to be starting in the P21 spot. And Munatsi Major, a little surprised to see him qualifying this back here, but he's going to be starting that P22 spot. Ryan Taft, one of the decent veterans here in the Crown Jewel Racing League, going to be starting 23rd, with 24th going to be rounded out by that 98 of Caleb Begg. Patrick McPeak going to take that 25th spot with Jonathan Ledger, who's going to qualify his way into the race. He's going to be starting 26th. Ray Gill in that number 07 is going to be starting P27 with P28 going to be taken out by that number 65 of Keenan Kimber. P29 Aaron Longworth with Kyle Sosnowski going to take out your top 30.
Behind them, Jeremy Teban and Bob Baker, row 16. And row 17, Michael Deitch and Gregory Valid. Row 18, Julia Pamik and Richard Bunkley in the 01 machine. Row 19, Chris Davis and Garth Griswold. And I believe that rounds out our drivers for tonight's race. 19 rows, a lot of drivers. 37 drivers. Sorry, 38 drivers to be exact. It's definitely going to be interesting to see all of them roll out on track tonight.
Yeah, still haven't seen these guys roll out on pit road. I'm not sure what we're waiting on here. I don't know, maybe race control is maybe looking at those qualifying laps, or maybe they're just trying to figure out who was in and who was out. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that, you know, we got everything sorted out. Looks like 36 drivers are going to come out here and race here, I believe. But right now, just waiting on these drivers to get rolling here.
I have noticed a lot of drivers have shut off their engines, trying to save some fuel here. So that's a little bit interesting, and yeah, it's interesting as the number 24 machine does have an end of line penalty after he had registered too late, so he will be starting in the back of the field today at Atlanta.
It looks like this 17 machine is going to the back. I don't know, maybe he stalled, or if he is getting an EOL here.
That is our pole sitter. Same with Boyd. They're both going to the back. So position at 1 and 2. End of line penalty for cutting the apron on the front stretch, finishing their lap. So that will leave Blake Roebuck on the pole with Mike George on his outside. Very, very interesting. Early on, they're going to have to make their way up the field after starting in the back now.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I guess if it's in the rules, it's in the rules. You got to read, you know, you got to know what you can and cannot do here. But as we look at our track facts here, we talked about it here. That is Auto Club, so that is the wrong fact check. But obviously, a 1.5 mile racetrack here. Looking at your race analysis, 130 laps. Laps on lap 30 and lap 60, 45 miles an hour, and a fuel window of about 50 to 55 laps. We just got the word now about those penalties, so we're not on our overlays and not on our timing screen. But yeah, that's going to give the lead over to Blake Roebuck and Mike George on. That's going to start you off here. Like the lights are going to go back on the pace car. I think everybody's trying to get everything sorted out. Obviously, with those last minute EOLs, with the 24 getting an EOL for joining too late, and the two, pole sitters getting an EOL. I think everybody's trying to get everything sorted out. But look how many trucks we have here, Gavin. I'm very excited to see what this race is going to turn out to be.
Yeah, I mean, this field is stacked. We got a lot of drivers, and I'm excited to see how it plays out, man. A lot of trucks. We could expect carnage. We could expect clean racing. It honestly depends. And we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what anything's going to happen coming into these races, and that's what makes it exciting. Definitely at Super Speedway, so I am very pumped for this race to begin. Let's take a look at our race weather for tonight. See that 66 degrees outside, 5-mile-per-hour winds to the west, and it is cloudy outside right now. It is overcast clouds outside, but we're still gonna have great racing.
Yeah, with those clouds, all that does is cool the track temp, which gives these trucks more grip, and you know what that means, more grip, which means you can, race a lot more aggressively, put a better show on for you fans at home. So, see the lights on the pace car now are off, so it will be going green here. Now with that 30 and the 34, going to take up that front row. You're going to see that pace car take the hard left turn on the pit road here, and we're going to be going Atlanta racing for 135 laps.
Ford versus Chevy in the front row. Chevy versus Toyota in the second row. Here we go. Heading into the restart zone. We are green here at Atlanta. The inside lane got the better launch off the front straightaway, but here comes the outside lane into turn 3 and 4. That's Noah Nicholson leading the outside lane with Jacob Quill right behind him. They're trying to get it done on the outside. Both Toyotas trying to get up to the front as they're going to race back to the line. Looks like Noah Nicholson will lead our first lap. Jacob Quill right behind him.
Yeah, those are two teammates, the two Lucky 7 Motorsports Toyota Tundras that are going to work really well together. Oh, 3 wide, sideways. That's the 19 of Dominic Lee, and they're wrecking back there.
One car spinning. Looks like multiple cars spinning now in the back. Yellow is out. That wreck all began, I believe, with the 69 machine. That's Noah Hamilton. We saw him spin early on. And man, I'm not sure. I saw Noah spinning, trying to hang on to it, and then I saw some trucks spinning on in the back. So we're gonna take a look at our replay real quick and see exactly what happened. We see the 45 go high and 3 wide, and wow, the 19 just loose in the middle, trying to hang on to it. Ends up going into the outside wall. And, he ends up keeping it straight after this, but the 69 ends up going around, trying to avoid him. And trucks behind just hitting on the brake. That's a 6 and the 61 end up hitting the inside wall. The 6 with a huge hit. And, man, 3 cars in that incident only on lap 2.
Yeah, that's just a part of it. You saw, the 19 get up there and kind of get sideways, and it just caused a huge checkup. And you saw, Noah Hamilton kind of self-spin, probably just got on the brakes a little bit too hard. And poor Patrick McPeak was up there towards the front part of the Daytona race, lost track position, and just kept getting involved in wreck after wreck in that Daytona race. And already seeing some carnage from him already with under 5 complete here at Atlanta.
Yeah, we see multiple cars pitting, some for damage, some to just top off on fuel. So already seeing a little bit of strategy. I don't think it will do too much, but definitely interesting to see some trucks go into pit road already. Yeah, we see that number 6 machine involved in that wreck. We see his rear end actually has pushed in quite a few as he's getting it repaired now, and his left front is a little bit scraped up. So hopefully that damage is not too bad, as once again he did take a pretty hard hit into the inside wall in that last incident.
You already see that back end already kind of fixed. So good to see this truck already going. Jarrett getting ready to leave pit road actually, and that truck, honestly, for what it could have been, looks pretty clean and green.
Yeah, looks pretty good right there. Over all of that racing in the yellow that happened, Toyotas took the lead. Noah Nicholson and Jacob Quill went up to the front. We saw them moving on the outside, and those two drivers were able to get up to the front. So they will be starting side by side right here. Actually, we'll see.
And with the choose
Never mind,
cone,
Jacob
yeah.
Quill.
And with the
Yeah,
choose cone,
Jacob
you're going to
Quill.
see Jacob, pick to stay with his teammate here on that bottom.
Yeah, doesn't want to leave his teammate. Teammates already working together. So it will be a Toyota Ford front row. And man, this racing's already exciting. We saw it for a quick moment there, but I just can't wait for us to get a long green flag run and all these drivers racing side by side and to see a little bit of strategy come in. I just can't wait.
And you think you saw maybe some butterflies coming through, right? I mean, 34 trucks, 36 trucks, Atlanta. I mean, you're going to see some drivers maybe be a little bit antsy at the starts of here. I mean, especially if you're in the front, you're racing for the lead. You know, you make a mistake, you're going to get shuffled all the way to the back. And I think that's exactly what you saw with Dominic. He maybe put himself in a bad spot and unfortunately put himself in the wall, caused a little bit of a chain reaction. But, sooner or later, you're going to see some of these guys start to be a little bit more patient. I mean, 135 laps, but remember, you do have that stage caution at lap 30, so can't be too patient and too passive here.
Yeah, you do got that stage coming pretty quick, but once again, pace car lights are off. We are getting ready to go back green. Toyota Ford front row, Noah Nicholson on the inside, and Blake Roebuck on the outside. So, getting ready to go back green, lined up here. We're going to see who gets the better launch.
Honestly, not a bad job by the outside. Looking at the racing in real life and even watching some officials here, I felt like that inside always had an advantage. But look at Roebuck up there trying to use that side draft to try to keep that top lane going as he's trying to wait on that 34 to get back to that tailgate.
Jacob Quill pushing the 71 as hard as he can, trying to get his teammate in front of the 30 machine, as they are going to pull away just a little bit in the corner, as the 34 and the 30 on the outside lane are going to try to come back, but it's definitely hard. The 71 now fully clear. Not sure if he's going to go up and block, try to control the lanes, but doesn't look like it at the moment.
I saw the 34 had to get out of it. He, looked like he was going to go through wide, but I just think it was more of he was in a bad spot to push that 30 out. And you still see Blake trying to do his best to keep that lane going, but you see a lot of those trucks already starting to build to the inside.
Yeah, still 2 by 2. Four rows back as the 80. I think the 87 gets sideways, hangs on to it. What a save. But one car spins in the back. We are green at the moment. Yellow is now out. Multiple incidents really kind of happened at once, just like the last yellow. And man, the 87 though, he saved it. Lucas Edwards was completely sideways in turn 4 and managed to hang on to it. And multiple trucks saw that happen in front and spun out behind them. So here's our HVTV replay, and we'll take a look at it real quick.
It just looks like
just cars checking up.
Yeah, a huge checkup, and with these open sets, some of these guys don't really have the best brake package for a super speedway. They don't intend to be slowing down a whole bunch, except maybe going down the pit road. And you just see a huge checkup. You see the 18 get in the back of that 30 machine, and just kind of nowhere to go for some of these guys just trying to get through. You see the 6 get in the back of the 18, so I mean, just kind of looks like
incident for him.
Yeah, you see the 6 with a little bit of damage on his front. You see Garth taking a spin there in that number 18 machine. And yeah, once again, just kind of a chain reaction, and unfortunately some of the guys towards the back are going to get caught up.
Yeah, I do want to take a look at Lucas Edwards' save, because he was completely sideways, and it was very, very interesting. I honestly have no clue how he was able to hang on to it, as he's staying out right now. He's not going into pit road at all.
See that 87 Ford? Yeah, not any damage on that truck either. So that's, I mean, that's potentially a race-saving move right there by Lucas, you know, keep that truck out of harm's way. I mean, you see him behind that Major's garage machine. I think that is the 24. Michael Sellers. No number on that machine, but we do have it, the 24 in timing and scoring, so that definitely helps us out.
Choose cone is this time. So we are going to see those trucks lining up too wide once again in just a second. But 2 yellows within 10 laps. Don't forget, we do have our stage break in about 20 laps. That is on lap 30. The yellow will come out. And I think these racers, all these racers are, you know, driving aggressive. They want to get up for the stage, but they also have to realize 135 laps. This is a long race. A lot of stuff can happen. You can get your way up to the front. So they also have to have that mindset. But once again, choose cone getting ready to happen this time by.
And that's a big thing, though, is that, like, you can't have cautions to make your way up to the front. So some of these guys in the back probably don't want to see these, right? Even though maybe guys in front of them are getting wrecked out, they can't gain spots if they're pacing, right? So I definitely think that these guys do want to go green. They're not being aggressive for nothing. And some of these guys are not liking what they see. But coming to the choose cone, we'll see what Blake chooses and see what everybody else wants to do here.
As our leader is going to jump to the outside. So that will give Noah Nicholson the inside. And Jacob Quill not lined up behind his teammate. Lost a couple positions, but still in the same lane as him. He will be starting in the 5th position, or 3rd car on the inside right here, Jacob Quill, in that 77 machine. Trucks are lining up too wide once again.
Honestly, like what this 34 did, right? You already saw that 71, that 77 work really well together. He's like, well, I got to do something to break these guys up. Even though he maybe lost the spot, he did break up those 2 lucky 7 Motorsports machines up to try to, you know, give himself maybe a better shot to race for this stage win and get some precious points.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And man, I'm just looking behind, and there's so many trucks here. It is awesome. A really good show. A lot of drivers showed up, so I'm excited to go back green in just a moment.
I'm excited to go green, and I'm excited to potentially see some, you know, green flag racing. It's cool to have 36 trucks go up, but it's also not very cool for them to be, you know, pacing around. No one wants to see that. We want to see some very wide, some actual racing here, but pace car is going to take this hard left turn once again, and we're going to go green here back at Atlanta.
Toyota Ford front row 71 versus the 30. Remember, the 30 is in control of the restart, and he does get a big jump as the 71 just does not get going, and he does not have help behind from the 34. You see the 30 staying up a little bit to help the 76 as he blinks out for 1 quick second as he's back. But man, what a start the outside Blake Roebuck had. He just took off right there.
Unfortunately, I think he got a little bit too out in front. We'll see if the 71 is willing to push him out there, and he will. He's going to elect to stay in line, be a little bit patient. Obviously, lap 12, so a lot of racing to go. But here comes that number 77 with the run off the top with help from the 46 of Jordan Slater.
Jacob Quill going for the lead. We saw him starting 3rd on the inside as, whoa, very close contact in the back. But Jacob Quill still cruising and moving on the outside, taking the lead with the 46 right behind him. Jacob Quill leading the pack into turn 3.
Look at that. Look at that number 19. Just almost got caught up in a wreck. And look at them. Already up into the P5 spot using that top to gain some spots.
The 77 controlling this race at the moment. Man, he's doing a great job leading the outside lane. Same with the 46 behind him. Jordan Slater was doing good. Really good job pushing, as the 30 car on the inside is trying to fight right back with the teammate of Jacob Quill right behind him.
Yeah, you saw that 30 get super sideways going into the tri-oval. I'm surprised he could save that machine and keep the momentum up. But yeah, you're starting to see this inside start to get wound up a little bit. Gonna make a run here going into the tri-oval. It's gonna be side by side going to the line as wow. You just see that 30 just super upset going through that tri-oval.
Yeah, the 71 behind him on his bumper entering the tri-oval. Remember, that 71 is the teammate of the 77 of Jacob Quill. So I want to see if somehow they can get lined up here. But still Jacob Quill out front, entering turn 3 once again. Jordan Slater doing a great job pushing behind.
Yeah, so see 2 by 2 by 2. I mean, 10, 12, 15 car lengths deep. No one's really willing to give up and go down to the bottom, just try to save right now. With 15 to go here in this stage, I mean, you really need to do the best you can to make some spots up to get those precious stage points.
Yeah, we're still 2 wide, no 3 wide throughout the field, just quite yet. Once again, like Christian just mentioned, 15 laps still left in this stage. So very, very interesting. We still see, even lines at the moment. I mean, both the top and the inside are about even. We see the inside moving quite well in the corners, and the outside just taking that huge run out of the corners onto the straightaways.
I mean, you're seeing these guys are pushing these trucks as hard as they can. I mean, you see them sliding the rear ends out, sliding the nose, just trying to really push these things as hard as they can. I guess with 15 to go, I mean, you're not going to be really worried about tires. You're going to come and pit in during the stage. Might as well push the truck as hard as you can.
Yeah, this is our longest green flag run we have had so far, and I'm proud to see it. I'm excited to see it because we have some strategy coming into play. As you see the 19, the third car on the outside, look to be a little bit loose on exit there as we have a blink from our race leader, the number 30 machine, as he blinks right back in, but that blinking can affect his line and how he's leading, so he wants to make sure he can get that fixed up pretty shortly. Otherwise, it could, take part of how he finishes in this race.
Well, you have to go back to what we talked about in the pre-race, right? Trust and respectability, right? Regardless of how good of a driver you are, if your internet is unreliable, you're going to get a lot of drivers who are going to shuffle you out, right? Because if you're blinking and doing that, especially if you're leading the line, it's really hard to keep that line going. So you're going to see, as you see some contact.
Whoa! He went up, he was looking to go to that outside lane, and he realized he wasn't clear at the last second, and man, close incident. Almost an accident we saw there on the backstretch, but good job keeping the truck safe. We stay green.
And you see the 30 blinked for, and that's going to startle everybody. You see the 71 back out. I think it was probably should have been the latter of the 30 backing out, not the 71, but now that it really checked up really both lanes here. Everybody got a little bit of spooked, and now everybody's going to have to get recuperated to try to get that. But that's exactly what Jacob Quill wanted to see. Single file. You have the 46 who has been a good pusher. Now you're single file out here for the lead.
Yeah, the inside lane just completely died, lost all their momentum after that. And yeah, nothing the 71 machine could do after the 30 car just blinked in front of him. That's just unlucky for the 71 machine right there. But Jacob Quill once again leading now our pack. He's in control of the race right now. 76 is on the outside all by himself at the moment. No help quite yet as there's a couple trucks further back behind him. But we're going to see if they can get lined up here shortly and get moving on back to the front.
Yeah, that's the 76 of William Ransone trying to make the top work. And the cool thing about Atlanta is you really don't need a lot of trucks to get up there and really make the top work like you do at a standard super speedway style track. I mean, it's 2 trucks and you see them kind of hanging tough right there in the 3rd, 4th-ish line and still hanging tough trying to make that top work.
Yeah, it's currently Toyota, Chevy, Ford is the top 3 right now. All 3 manufacturers showing off at the moment. Outside lane is kind of lining up together. I think they will be able to get up to the front here shortly. But at the moment, inside lane is the lane to be in with Jacob Quill leading.
Yeah, a big thing that Jacob probably didn't want to see was he just lost his teammate in the 71 due to that blink out. You see the 71 lost a bunch of track position. He's back here in the 32nd position. Lost 30 spots in that whole ordeal.
Yeah, not good at all. But we did get reports that 30 is good now. He has stopped blinking, which is good. He needs to get that fixed up because we don't want an incident like that to happen again. But we are coming back. 6 laps to go in the stage at the line, and this is going to get interesting. I think we're going to see some drivers making some moves, trying to get up to the lead here shortly.
Yeah, that top hasn't really emerged like we thought it would. And he's still within, striking distance if they can get a good run. But The inside still starting to snake away from the stop. Now you see Josh Stoll's gonna be clear. The top is gonna go up there and take it.
Remember, he's all alone. He does not have teammates in this race, so he is trying to get up to the front pretty much by himself. I mean, he's trying to make friends on the track that will help him out, but as he gets loose there, he's in the wall. He's going to go way to the back now, the 99 machine. And man, that's just as we were talking about him. A little bit of commentator's curse. That's whoa! Big crash entering turn 3. Multiple cars involved. Yellow is out. It's a huge one. Multiple cars involved.
That is the definition of the big one there, and we barely had a camera view, but luckily we do have our replay system that we can go back to and see what happened.
Yeah, that was pretty big. I don't know if they were all reacting to the 99 in the wall or what, but we'll take a look at it because it did happen towards the front.
That looks like 3, almost 4 wide, but and that starts with the 61. That is of Patrick McKeek here, and yeah, we'll definitely take a look and see what happened. Kind of a bad angle coming down the back straightaway, but yeah, you see that 91 get 2 tires off the ground.
Off the track, yeah.
And just looks like Patrick maybe not knowing that he's 3, or maybe getting taken 3. I'm not sure. And you see him make contact with the 91, kind of shoots him down the track, makes contact with the number 1, Rodney Pitcock, and just nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers.
You see some of these drivers on the brakes as much as they can, and that's what happened. I mean, you see the no number truck there was on the brakes and ended up locking up. He managed to self-spin and then came back up the track and collected some more drivers who were just trying to avoid it. As I want to see if we can play that back one more time, looking at him. Because yeah, he's towards there. He's trying to brake for the incident.
That's actually right on board. This is the 24 of Sellers here. We're right on board as he goes through this wreck. See them trying to wreck up here. Yeah, just gets on the brakes and just loses the rear end. You know, locked up the rear tires, and so long for the ride he goes.
Yeah, multiple hard hits for him. That will lead up to a lot of damage. So he will most likely be in pit road taking that. And man, I mean, stage 1, already the first big one. And that's definitely interesting to see. 28 laps in. I believe we are going to go green with a 1-lap shootout. So that will be interesting to see. And I believe we'll see drivers come in once again and take some more damage. So, 1-lap shootout here. Jacob Quill still leading as the choose cone is this time. He looks to take the inside lane. Jacob Quill.
You see the 19 and Dominic Lee. He's going to take the front row here. Saw the top 3 drivers elect the inside. And Dominic says, well, the outside might not be preferred, but I have to take a chance to get some stage points here. You're gonna see him take the front row here on this restart.
Yeah, very cool seeing him up front. Once again, he man, I was talking about it in qualifying when we were watching him. That car just looks fast. That truck, I should say. And I'm excited to see what he can do. Maybe trying to get that stage win, but front row will be a Ford versus Toyota as here on the backstretch. Once again, we are getting ready to go back to green.
Look at Matthew Campbell in the 98 and the 81 up 11 spots here. You see Kyle Sosnowski up 23 spots with only 29 complete. Obviously, it's pretty easy to gain spots here if you put yourself in the right positions, especially on these choose cones. But epic job by those two, 4th and 5th right now. Up a ton of positions here early in the race.
Race control has just extended the caution, so this, or I should say next time, will be the end of the stage here, as I think they're just going to extend it and let the stage end under yellow. As we were getting ready to go green, I had all the drivers lined up too wide, but admins just want to, we just saw a big crash. I think it is I mean, the best choice to just, let the stage play out under yellow, because we don't want these drivers to start racing aggressive in a 1-lap shootout.
I mean, you saw the aggressiveness now, just going to the stage. I mean, one lap shootout, we might see the whole field collapse upon itself. I mean, these stage points mean a lot to getting yourself into the playoffs potentially. So, and obviously, we've seen how aggressive and how mishandling some of these trucks can be. A lot of I think every one of these cautions that have come out have just been too, you know, drivers kind of losing the truck on exit the corners and just kind of putting some drivers in bad situations and checking up, and then not a lot of where for some of these drivers to go. So definitely think it's a good call by these race admins to you know extend the caution, get this stage out, and maybe we can see some green flag racing in the stage too.
Yeah, Jacob Quill is going to be our stage 1 winner here at Atlanta as we are getting ready to go back green. And Dominic Lee, sorry, is right there on his outside. So we are extending it once again, one more time. Admins are just trying to get everything sorted out in the back as we will go around one more time.
So this will be the completion of stage 1 right here. I believe in this league it's not 230, it's the completion of 30. So this will officially give Jacob Quill the stage 1 win, and I guess Dominic Lee probably not trying to do this, but he's going to squeak out a P2 spot here in stage 1. So just from that
That's
lineup,
points.
yeah, just from lining up, trying to give himself a chance on the restart, he just gave himself probably 3 or 4 extra points here in stage 1. I mean, he was going to line up probably 4th or 5th if there wasn't a choose cone, and those top 3 decided to pick the bottom, and now, he's going to get a P2 position for stage 1.
Yeah, everyone lining up. I think they are going to go back down in the pit road this time. Top off on fuel as the stage is now over. As they are, Jacob Quill looking down to pit. Take fuel and tires. This is the time you need to. Everyone's pitting in for the stage break. So strategy coming into play. This is where we see it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a free pit stop, so obviously everybody's going to come down here and top off, maybe get a set of Goodyear tires. I mean, you saw how the handling is with just 30 laps on their tires. So I'm not sure of how many tire sets these drivers were given, but I assure you they'll probably preferably want to take a set here with a free caution.
Yeah, all those cars now coming down in the pit road right here. Jacob Quill, race leader, the first to come on pit road. We'll see. Our drivers going to take 2? Any drivers? I mean, definitely going to be interesting to see. We'll see exactly what happens.
See everybody come down pit road here and service their car, maybe get some damage fixed for those guys in the back, right? I guarantee you some of those drivers might have some damage towards the back that probably want fixed. So we're going to do some drivers, maybe take 2, maybe take 4. Yeah, definitely some strategy at play. You see the 30 gonna win the race off pit road with only a 8-second stop, so that looks like a fuel only stop. Jacob Quill the next in with a 11-second pit box time, so I think maybe he took 2, but we did have some drivers decide to stay out here on this caution. You see Zach Johnson in the 33, Chris Davis in the 74, Garth Griswold, we saw him get caught up in that early caution. Gregory Velati also stays out as he pitted on that last caution. So only 4 laps on this stint, but the other drivers 22 and 28 laps on those 2 respective stints. So definitely an interesting strategy call for the top 3 here, but you got to do something to give yourself some track position. Maybe hoping for a early caution here. Then maybe save fuel, save some tires to help get them to that next stage.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting. Zach Johnson to the lead. Like Christian was just talking about, strategy coming into play at the end of the stage. So, going to be very, very interesting. He's going to choose the outside, trying to get it done. It will be a Toyota Chevy front row once again. So So we're going to get ready to go back green for stage 2.
I see Julia up here. I think she is a lap machine. Yeah, 21 laps down. So I think they need a. I think she'll get cycled to the back. She should be getting cycled to the back right here. I don't know why she'd be starting P3 here. Right now, yeah, Julia currently 36, 21 laps down, 14 laps to the car ahead. So I think, yeah, I think they're communicating with her now that she needs to go to the back of the tail and land the longest line here. Fortunate for her, and didn't have the best Daytona race, and looks like a pretty clean truck, but obviously 21 laps down is a lot of laps to get back. I don't really know if
Try to roll around and hope some drivers wreck out and she gains as much positions as she can that way, because it's looking unlikely she'll be able to get all those laps back. But Toyota versus Chevy. Here we go. Back into the restart zone. We are green once again here at Atlanta.
pretty good before with no help. Actually, you see the 30 now jump down to help that number 74 machine.
The 33 left, trying to get back up to the lead with the 19 right behind him. He is moving on the outside lane.
Yeah, you just see that truck just has like a lot of just raw pace on its own. You don't really see a lot of help from the 19, and he's already side by side for the lead going into turn 1.
Man, that just shows the speed that Toyota truck has. As once again, going up for the lead here. He's going to get it out of turn 2 with a little bit of help from the 19. Jacob Quill back to the lead here at Atlanta in stage 2.
You see the 30 starting to blink once again. Asked to drop to the back, and now that just completely collapsed that inside. You see the 33 had to check up for the 30 and is now just completely disconnected with the 74. You're going to see Jacob Quill jump down to the bottom now. He's going to lead that bottom lane.
Jacob Quill went up for the block and just wasn't there in time, and Dominic Lee went to leading the outside lane, but the 77, look how fast he is, man. He's just moving on the inside lane with the 74 right behind him. He is clear completely from the outside lane now in turn 3 and 4.
Oh, Dominic, once again, that truck just does not like to lead here. I don't know if it's the clean air that makes it rotate a little bit better, but he just seems to struggle every time he gets that clean air.
I think his setup, it's just not stable enough. Something with the truck just isn't behaving how he really would like it. As, yeah, every corner, every exit of the corner, he's just loose. Which isn't only going to affect him on speed, but that's also going to affect his tires. Tire wear will be a thing, as he's going to try to jump to the inside, but isn't able to. And he's left out to dry in that middle lane.
And that's a scary spot to be here at Atlanta. It's not as wide as a Daytona or a Talladega, so 3 wide can be pretty sketchy. Especially in all these trucks, it looks like nobody's truck is handling the best, right? So you saw everybody kind of cordially get around the 19. Now he's going to drop back there to the P9 position, but still a lot of shakeups here. And you're starting to see this bottom start to actually break away a little bit.
Yeah, that outside lane ended up dying after the 19 got up to the lead of the outside lane, was leading the outside lane, I should say, after Jacob Quill jumped to the inside. So they're going to try to reform here, and it looks to be working just a little bit with, I believe that is Boyd Hagen leading the outside lane with the 17 right behind him.
Yeah, we know he was going to come here with a strong truck. But definitely by far the strongest truck at Daytona. Obviously coming back here to a super speedway style track. Definitely look at him to be one of the contenders here. He dominated that race.
Yellow's out. Not exactly sure what for. Oh, it's the 19. Dominic Lee slow in turn 4. As we completely missed it, we're going to have to take a look at the replay and see exactly what happens. As another problem for Dominic Lee, the number 19 machine. Sorry, HVTV replay. You see him on the outside, just slow, trying to let everybody by. We're just talking about the problems he had. Looks to go inside or into the wall. Come down across the 6. Once again, the 6 is involved in the incident. Not a good day for the 6, but the 19. Multiple hard hits. I think I don't think it should be anywhere near to ending his race. I think he'll be fine, but definitely some rear end and side damage on that Ford machine. So that's going to be interesting after he was running up front. And man, I mean, we saw it. I know everyone watching saw it. That truck just did not look like it was in his control at all. I mean, it was sliding every corner on exit, and we're gonna see if he can get it figured out coming into pit road here.
It seems like it might be a long day for that 19 team. Just cannot get a handle on that truck. You saw him, regardless if he was leading, whether he was in the pack, just that truck just not driving the way he wants it to. You know, that's a big thing with open sets, right? If you run on a team like Dominic, right, you might just be given a set, you jump in here and expect it to run, you know, semi-well, but if it doesn't match the way your driving style likes it, it can be a world of hurt for someone like Dominic, who it looks like that truck just not driving the way he needs it to right now.
Boyd is up to second at number 96 machine. We talked about how he was fast all last week. Here he is up front. In that Ford purple machine, man, that scheme also just looks awesome. I mean, it grabs all the attention from the viewers. It stands out great, and it's really cool seeing him up front. And we're gonna see what he can do here.
You see, I mean, he qualified second, but remember he had that penalty at the start in the back, and look at him all the way up to P2 before stage 2 ends. So you know that truck is gonna be quick. Like you had mentioned before, Gavin, very dominant at Daytona, and already up here to the P2 spot after having to start in the back.
He did choose the inside right behind Jacob Quill, who has been dominating this race so far. Jacob Quill has been in the front pretty much all of this race. Definitely been leading a lot. So both those drivers lined up on the inside. I'm excited to see how they are going to do leading this inside line.
Yeah, I mean, you have probably two of the best guys you want to try to keep away from, because these trucks look pretty quick, and you know, obviously with it being Atlanta, I don't know if there's a thing of them getting pulled away with just a 2-car tandem, but if those two are leading the bottom, that bottom I think is gonna be pretty hard to beat. They decide
they're gonna
work together.
Yeah, they're gonna be flying. No, I mean, look at that end of line penalty for Boyd. He's already up here. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. He's fast.
He's fast, and obviously you have to get to the front methodically, right? And you see a clean truck as we get ready to go green here, going to try to push that 77, my apologies, out to the lead here on this Geico restart zone.
Jacob Quill, I don't know if he missed a shift or what, but the inside lane did not get the start they needed, as the two on the outside jumped up and are now leading this inside lane, and that is huge for Chris Davis going up to the lead now.
You already see that 96 wants to get up to the lead, jumps up to lead this top. He's going to have this. I think that's the 16. That is the 16 of Kyle Sosnowski.
Dominic Lee, lap car already, holding the outside lane. Man, just not a good day for Dominic Lee. As he's gonna go back to the back of the pack here.
And good for him to stick up to the top and try to give as much room as he can, because I mean he can tell you himself how bad 3 wide can get here at Atlanta, but luckily they caught him in a good spot during the travel, probably the widest part of the track, and just was able to let everybody go. But yeah, tough day for that number 19 team. Definitely have a lot of hard work going into this this off week, while the Cup Series goes to Dakota.
That restart was reviewed and was ruled perfectly fine. So Chris Davis is going to stay out as our leader. Jacob Quill just must have had something happen wrong with that truck to have a restart like that. Yeah, he's still in third though on that inside lane. So I would not call it a horrible restart, because he could be way in the back.
Exactly. I mean, he could have definitely taken advantage of a lot more. Maybe started in third instead of second. Maybe just got caught sleeping. You never know. But Chris Davis out here leading up 33 spots from where he started this race. So what a great job by him to get up here out in front, with 15 to go in stage 2. I mean, he's put himself in a prime spot to maybe go out here and win a stage.
We talked about those two drivers, the 77, Jacob Quill, and Boyd Hagen. They're lined up on the outside now, as Jacob Quill was leading the outside lane, trying to get up to the front. And man, those trucks are so fast. As we have a wreck in the back behind, Yellow is out. As we have one car still spinning, now hanging on to it, as I believe that was Noah Nicholson. Where is what the wreck started off with, which is Jacob Quill's teammate. As we're gonna take a look at it, our HVTV replay.
Remember, Noah was up towards the front here and then got shuffled out due to the Blake Roebuck blinking incident and has not been able to get his way to the front now. You see him caught up in this wreck here on lap 48. And you see him just, oh man, getting to the wall, kind of get used up by the 76. And along for the ride he's going to go. You see the 69. I think that is Noah Hamilton getting up and involved in there. But besides that, everybody doing a pretty decent job. Oh, Michael Deitch maybe with a little bit of damage. But everybody else doing a pretty decent job getting around this wrecked number 71 machine.
Yeah, one car spinning in the back. Avoiding the wreck looks to be fine. Maybe just needs to put some fresh tires on it, but no damage from what it looks like. Really, the guy who got the worst of that wreck is Noah Nicholson, so he's going to bring it on the pit road and try to fix as much of the truck as he can after, man, just an unlucky incident for him here at Atlanta.
Some drivers start to make their way down pit road to take some tires, maybe fix some damage if they have some, but maybe even top off on fuel, right? You know, you're in that range where, in that sweet spot where, you're going to give up that track position to go race for a stage win or maybe stage points with probably going to 10 to go when we go green. But you are in that spot that where you could maybe make it on one more stop. Maybe two more stops to the end of the race.
Yeah, I think we're still looking at 2 more stops for the trucks to make it. But it's definitely going to be interesting. I think we'll see strategy start to come in play because we're going to see people try to run out as long as they can. And some maybe pit earlier to, you know, just get the fuel out of the way and just try to get up front with track position. So we're going to see this start to play out pretty soon.
You see these trucks get to the choose cone here, coming out of 3 and 4, and we're going to see where these drivers elect to go. We'll first see the leader decide whether he wants the inside or the outside. Then on back, we'll see drivers try to maybe make up some track position, maybe picking that top lane. You see the bottom, the most popular at the time. You see the 74 pick the bottom. 77
Jacob
up top.
Quill. And look behind him, Boyd right behind him. That's going to be a very strong outside lane. We're going to see how they do here. So that's going to be interesting how those two work together, or if they work together at all. But we know they're both fast and want to get up to the front.
And I think Boyd acknowledges how the speed of that 77, and we know that that 96 is quick, and I think the 96 knows that the 77 is quick. So I think he knows that it's probably right now the best interest of everybody out of those two to kind of work together. They know they have fast machines and are trying to keep those trucks up there, maybe in the top 2, top 4 throughout the whole race to give themselves a bit opportunity maybe for those two to duke it out for the win here at the end.
Yeah, once again, we're still in stage 2. I mean, we have a lot of laps left in this race, and we've seen a lot of action. Not only wrecks, but a lot of drivers making their way up through the field to the front. Boyd Hagen, one of the racers showing us that. But once again, pace car hard left on the pit road. We are getting ready to go back green.
The truck's getting to that Geico resize zone. 74 is going to lead us to green. Once again, we're green back here from Atlanta.
Jacob Quill didn't get the start he needed. The inside lane was just dialed there, as they're going to pull away just a little bit. as they're completely clear. And Boyd jumping to the inside, leaving Jacob Quill out to dry. I don't know how Jacob Quill is going to like that from Boyd, as now Boyd is jumping out in front of Jacob Quill. We'll have to see what Jacob Quill does if he gets up to him again, but now the outside lane is trying to come back and move up to the front.
You see the top line are really well put together compared to that bottom. Kind of the first three on the bottom were put together versus where you have 4 or 5 on the top. And now you're starting to see that momentum from the top start to snake forward to try to get side by side with this front 2 here on the bottom.
That's 74. Chris Davis, his truck's looking good though up front. Looks like it's handling perfect. Same with the 46 behind him. Those are 2 Chevys working together. And they're working really well, holding off this outside line. So they're very strong at the moment.
Yeah, those are 2 teammates. The 2 teammates for Back Road Bandit Racing. So no wonder they're working so good together. I mean, they're probably in the VC communicating with each other. Hey, push me here, back off here. I can't take it, right? And that's why they're probably doing so well. That's probably how they got such a big jump on that restart, is because they probably timed it up and called it out.
Hogan doing everything he can to get up to the front. He's kind of just stayed put with that third car, the 17 machine of Chris Mathis. And, you know, they're trying to do everything they can in the outside lane. But Chris Davis really strong at the moment. Same with the 46.
Yeah, right now it just seems like that 16, that's the 16 Cargo Motorsports machine, just cannot really get that 96 out and push him out like maybe that 77 can. You see the 77 not really linked up with that 16. And I think a big thing for these super speedways is that third car in line, right? If that third car in line is really tucked up behind, it can really help propel that line forward. But you saw Jacob Quill kind of lag back off the 16, which is not helping the case of the top. But here comes the number 96 of Boyd to try to take the lead here off of turn 4.
Boyd Hogan went up to the lead on the back stretch into turn 3 and 4. He's going to try to fight back here on the front stretch. But who's going to get the lap led? It's going to be the 74 of Chris Davis. Leads that lap out in front. But they're side by side for the lead. Side by side, multiple rows back indeed. And this is where we start to see this incredible racing. And Boyd Hogan demonstrating that very well.
5 to go in the stage. Catching a lap car right here early in not the most optimal spot. Oh, that's the 07. And that's going to squeeze in. Here goes the 96 around.
Oh, they're wrecking hard in the back too. Luckily, Boyd was able to keep it straight, but multiple cars around in the back. The 30 is one of them, and the 30 has just not had the best day whatsoever. That's Blake Roebuck involved in that one once again, as we're going to take a look at it. I think that lap car just kind of, you know, we saw him running the outside, trying to stay out of the way, but might have just set that off just a little bit there. So we're going to take a look at it.
I really wouldn't put that on that lap car. I mean, you can't really get much higher, but it looks like just going
he's
through
as high as he can be.
Yeah. It looks like just going 3 wide, upset that 96, kind of walked it up the track and maybe just tried to get back down to get that push from the 16. But fortunately, Boyd was not clear. And unfortunately, I mean, when you wreck for the lead, I mean, there's not usually not a lot of trucks can get through it. I mean, he's leading the top, shunted up into the outside wall. You see a lot of just trucks nowhere to go. You saw the 33 with a pretty big hit and just with a lot of front end damage. Just, yeah, nowhere to go for a lot of these drivers back here.
Yeah, a lot of mayhem broke out under 35. This race, I mean, we've seen it all, Christian. You know, a lot of wrecks, a lot of incidents, and yeah, that you know, took out some fast drivers indeed, but hopefully they can get it all fixed up and get up to the front. As Boyd Hogan, one of our drivers, he's in pit road, taking as much damage as he can, trying to get that truck back in shape. As they did get the rear bumper back on the truck, as it was ticking off in that incident, but looks to be repaired just a little bit. And they're going to get ready to leave pit road in just a second as the leaders are coming around out of turn 4.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of almost everything except, you know, a long green flag run. It seems like I don't know, maybe it's the handling of the trucks, maybe it's just the aggressiveness of the drivers trying to get to the front, but seems like we cannot stay green as long as I think everybody wants to, right? But once again, the admins are going to be kind of put in that same awkward situation. Do they let them race it out here for a one-lap shootout? Or are they going to call the stage once again a little bit early? Because once again, it's basically deja vu of stage one, where they're going to go to green and potentially get a one-lap shootout. We'll see if the race control and the admins decide to delay the yellow and maybe give this stage to Chris Davis like they did to Jacob Quill in stage one.
One person who did end up pitting, and first off, hold on, the number 16, choose line cone violation, will get an end of line penalty. He was up in second, so he's going to go up to the back of the pack. But what I was getting to earlier, Jacob Quill was one of the fast cars up front. He did pit that time to take fuel and take a little bit of damage fix, because he did get a little bit of right side damage from that last incident, so he as well did enter pit road.
Well, lights are off on the pace car, so it appears that we're going to be going green here to race for this stage win. So once again, Kyle Davis on the inside, and it looks like the 81 of Matthew Campbell outside, 81-74, as we're green back here from once again at Atlanta.
That inside lane, especially Chris Davis, has had such good restarts. These past couple restarts, with him in the 46 in line, they've just been taken off very quickly. But the 81 is going to try to fight back here, as you see him with the run, getting pushed by the 34. They're side by side for the race lead here. I believe coming to the end of the stage, turn 3 and 4 side by side.
This top might have a run here, and it will be maybe a side-by-side finish here.
Coming. It's going to be interesting, close. Oh, the 74 got it just by a nose. Really close finish for the 81 and the 74. Oh, no.
A huge wreck after the caution comes out. What happened there?
I missed it completely. Oh, no. Multiple cars having to tow. Jeremy Tebon is one of them. The number 92 machine looks like his engine blew up. Man, after the yellow, I don't know what happened there, as we're going to have to take a look at it. You see Jeremy, the 92, right there. He was the one who ended up blowing his engine. So the yellow is out right here, folks. Yellow is out. You see drivers up front starting to check up. And the 23 is checking up, and looks like the 92, just came down on him. And ended up turning him.
Yeah, he's going to hook that 23 up the track. He's going to collect the 45. Looks like everybody's trying to get around. You see the 91 getting turned down the track here. Michael Deitch thought he was through the wreck and just claiming. You see Ryan Taft in the 86 machine with some damage. It looks like Jacob Quill's going to get through that. I don't know what a amazing drive through that wreck for him, but wow, you don't see that a whole lot. You know, them wrecking
after the
coming
stage.
to line. Yeah, that's kind of unbelievable to think about. But you know, Atlanta, one of the narrow racetracks when it comes to these super speedway style tracks, and unfortunately saw that 92 come down, not give enough room to that 23, and just calamity corner right there in that tribal.
That wreck kind of reminds me of what happened at the end of last week's ARCA race at Daytona with Elio Castroneves, when he got wrecked after the race, entering turn 1, so pretty much the same position here at Atlanta. And he ended up taking a hard hit into the outside wall. And then, I don't know, that wreck kind of looks similar. So, very, very interesting after the stage.
Yeah,
wreck after the stage.
Yeah, what that wreck looks similar to me as well. I figured you would have pointed this one out, Gavin, but that reminded me of that Brad Keselowski, Austin Dillon wreck at Michigan, where they're racing to the stage. Austin got the spot and unfortunately kind of came up, and Brad kind of hooked him up the track, killed his car. And, you know, Austin had a really quick machine back in there. I think they were racing for P2 in that stage, and that killed Austin Dillon's car back there. I think that was, 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what that reminded me of, was just racing to the stage and, you know, kind of maybe not looking about where your surroundings are, and unfortunately, 92 hooking that 23 up the track.
Yeah, the 62 will get, or sorry, the number 21 will get a drive-through penalty here after an incident. But once again, it will be a Chevy front row. Chevy top 4 to be exact. Those front 2 rows are all Chevys, 74 versus the 81 up front. And the 74 has just been dominant on the restarts. And with how it's looking, I don't really expect that to change unless the 81 on his outside just gets a good timing and the 34 is right behind him helping him out. So it's definitely going to be interesting as we're getting ready to go back green here in a second.
Yeah, I don't imagine that inside's going to check up at all with that. I mean, that 74 has his teammate who can, I mean, he can do whatever he needs to whether that's counting him down or giving the virtual hand out the window to give me that shove on the start. But yeah, Chevy lockout. The first non-Chevy is Jacob Kroll back there in that P6 spot. And then look at that. That is Boyd Hogan back there in that 96 getting caught up in that wreck. Already back up to the P8 spot after that huge wreck.
And look who he's behind.
Yeah.
Right behind Jacob Quill, the 77 machine. Both the, quickest drivers we've technically seen this race. And definitely interesting to see what they're going to do. But we are back green as the inside lane does get a little bit of a better restart than the outside lane. As the 81 will most likely fight back once again out of turn 2 if he gets the help he needs.
Yeah, that's kind of the big disadvantage of having teammates, I guess, is that teammate knows when to go, but you saw the 6 of Jarrett not really get up with them. You're going to see the 21 coming down pit road to take that drive-through. But you see now the top having the advantage just because that inside did not have the best start, because the 2 leaders of the inside had the best start versus everybody else who kind of has to react off of those 2.
We're pretty much even as the 81 actually washes up the track and kind of ruined, or kind of slowed them down, I should say, a little bit, as the 46 looked to almost be jumping high, ended up going back down to stay with his teammate. But the 81 was side by side, beginning of this lap, entering turn 1, and ended up just getting a little bit sideways and lost a lot of time and checked up the outside lane. But I wouldn't count them out. They're going to fight right back and get up side by side once again.
I mean, that's a big thing with leading the line here. I mean, some of these trucks looks like might be able to take the pushes in specific spots, just maybe due to the handling, maybe just because of the truck and the track temp. Obviously, we covered here in the pre-race, a really cloudy, 66 degrees, pretty cold, honestly, for what you'd expect Atlanta to be like here. But with it being cold and with having a cold track, it does make these trucks a little bit more slick to taking these pushes.
Yeah, the inside lane controlling this race at the moment, the 46 and the 74, working very well together. And the outside lane just not, moving up at the moment. But currently, there's only 26 cars on track compared to the 36 that started this race. So, on the lead lap. So there's only, there's 10 cars already a lap down. And that's huge. I mean, we just completed stage 2, so we're kind of early on in this race.
Yeah, I mean, we're just getting done with around halfway here in the race, so cool. That's kind of surprising to see that. I mean, the first car lap down right here is that 21 who had that drive-through penalty. Is kind of connected with the pack, so luckily not by himself, but you see him with the 99. I think that's the 19 of Dominic, and I think that's the 23 Mernazzi. So luckily he is in a little pack that he can work with versus just running by himself.
Yeah, a little secondary pack we see there with 4 cars, and one of those trucks seemed to get pretty loose there on exit. I don't know if he caught that. The truck in the back, that might be the 23. It is the 23 that got loose. Whoa! Big sideways for the 19. That truck just does not look stable. As we were talking about that earlier, he's definitely fighting that truck.
Yeah, not the right set to bring here at Atlanta, at least for Dominic. Obviously, everybody has different driving styles. It looks like that truck just way too free or loose or for Dominic for tonight. But back for the race for the lead, you still see the 74 leading with that help from his teammate, Jordan Slater, and that outside just still hasn't been able to at least get up to compete with this lead here. But you do see him side by side with that second row now. See the 81 is the 74.
He's pitting. I don't know exactly why or what, but he is pitting. I don't know. I mean, that's not. I mean, if that is strategy, that's not strategy I've ever seen before. Pitting by himself too. That is definitely interesting to see our race leader pull off as he's gonna go into his box. I don't know exactly what is going on there. Because that is pretty interesting. He's taking tires.
Yeah, remember in the pre-race we said you can go about 50 to 55 laps, so I guess you are in the fuel window. But to go by yourself is definitely an interesting call. I mean, you're going to be not only going in by yourself, but you're going to be going out by yourself with no help to, get that truck back up to speed and be in a draft. But I guess technically you are in the fuel window to make it to all the ways. Oh, man, a little bit of dicey racing back here in the back half of the top 10.
Yeah, Chris Davis is a lap down now as he has just exited pit road after taking fuel and tires. So very, very interesting electing to go by himself, but that does leave Jordan Slater, our race leader here at Atlanta, as you see them working their way past a couple lap cars. Lap trucks, I should say, as the 6 jumps to the outside trying to race to the lead. Oh, we have a wreck in the back. Yellow's out. Multiple trucks. I think there's a lap car involved. That is interesting.
Yeah, I think I did see a lap car involved there. Once again, I mean, we've seen it every time they've caught in lap traffic. It looks like there's been some misfortunes, and that's just the track. I mean, really, there's not really enough room to go 3-4 wide and stuff. I think it starts with, they're passing a lap car, and a 30 just looks like lost control, gets up into the lap car, and they're just going to come back down the track. That's the 30 machine.
Ooh, the 45, nothing he could do.
Yeah, the 45, just wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately. You're gonna
he gets
see
off
him.
The ground.
Yeah, you're going to see that car lift off the ground a little bit. Luckily, it settled back down, but nowhere to go. That's the 45. That's Noah Hunt. Not the best race for him. Been caught up in several other wrecks, but that's the definition of just wrong place, wrong time. You saw the 30 get upset after making contact with that lap car and just kind of shoot down the track.
Yeah, very, very disappointing for that 45 machine. During all that mayhem, though, Jarrett Ferreira jumped to the lead in the number 6 truck. So he's now leading, which is very interesting to see. And I'm excited to see how this plays out.
I think Jarrett's keeping the lead because I think your leaders maybe are down pit road taking fuel. So, I'm surprised to see some people stay out here. Right? You're definitely I'm almost positive in the fuel range here to make it. Even if you have to save a little bit of fuel, it's not really hard to save fuel at a super speedway like this. But you are going to see some guys elect to stay out. Which is interesting. So Jarrett, 18 lap stint, as well as Boyd in that number 96, and Lucas Edwards in that 87. We saw him have a really impressive save earlier in the race. He's going to stay out also. 14 laps on this stint as well.
Yeah, I mean, strategy already coming into play. We saw, risky decision going down into pit road from Chris Davis, as he's still a lap down. I would assume he did not like that yellow coming out. So definitely going to be interesting how, seeing how he's going to fight back. But yeah, I'd be watching Chris Davis a little bit here.
Yeah, that was basically worst case scenario for Chris. He, when you pit first, you expect it to stay green, and obviously it didn't here. So he went a lap down. The caution immediately came out. He was not the first truck a lap down. Right now, if we get a caution now, he is currently the first truck a lap down because he will stay out. Obviously, he doesn't need a pit. He just came down pit road. But right now, he is the first car lap down. The next guy behind is the 21 of Gregory right here. And then last car, 1 lap down, is this 30 machine. It says 11 on timing and scoring. I don't know, maybe he has wrong paint on or something. But he is one of those open cars. He just got caught up in this last caution, but also 1 lap down is Mason Effner in this Hoff Motorsports machine.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. Look at Boyd up there in that second car on the inside, and Jacob Quill up there on the outside. Definitely gonna be interesting. Um, Man, this race has been filled with everything you can think of, and it's been exciting. Definitely exciting to see and watch, and I'm excited to see how this is gonna play out. I mean, we've already seen a little bit of it. And look at the 30 already back up there. Um, Blake Roebuck, who was involved in, I believe, the last incident. Actually, sorry, two incidents ago he was involved in it, and he's already back up there in the top 5. So great job by him coming back up to the front of the pack. But it will be Chevy versus Toyota front row, and we are back green here at Atlanta.
And the first laps led for that number 6 machine after getting caught up in several incidences throughout the race. He's going to lead here. Jacob Quill, no help on the top. As you can see, everybody set to dive down to the apron. And yeah, he's going to need to find a spot or find some help, whichever comes first.
Yeah, he's just left out to dry on the outside. No help still, as everyone is just moving past him on the inside. I mean, tough break for him. But, I mean, still a long race. Long, a lot of laps ahead of him, so no need to worry just quite yet. But Boyd Hogan up to second, and he's doing really good. Pushing the number 6, staying up front, keeping his way up front with the 30 behind him.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like these guys that stayed out, I mean, the 6 to 96 and 87, they kind of just have to be aggressive and push as hard as they can because they have to pit again. Versus everybody else who came down pit road just has to save maybe 5 or so laps with a 60 lap run. I feel like that shouldn't be too hard. You're already kind of lifting in the trucks anyways if your truck isn't handling the best. So I feel like it wouldn't be too hard to save 4 or 5 laps. But the front 2 definitely can't make it. 22 additional laps compared to everybody else on the track now.
Yeah, the outside lane is somewhat beginning to form back up. Jacob Quill still doesn't really have the help he needs to get up side by side, but definitely not all alone at the moment. But currently 4 cars out up front, single file, as the 77 is on the outside of that 5th car. Truck, I should say. Apologize for that. But once again, Jared Fiera leading this field out of turn 4.
A little bit of a moment for the 87 machine. Looks like the 01's going to lift, let him back in line. That's going to allow the top to get a little bit of a run. Jacob Quill with help from the 91 of Matthew Owens. Trying to get this truck rolling. Top rolling. Mike George back there. Third truck in on the top. Trying to get that 91 back up as well. See a little bit of a move back there. Trying to go 3 wide.
Looking at the top. Oh, as we see cars sideways. He's hanging on to it. He's got it.
Yeah, that's the 98 of Caleb Begg. He's going to save it, but I think he just lost himself the draft, which is not okay here at Atlanta. Yeah, definitely not what he needed. Major's Garage, just that team in general just has not had the best race. We saw Munazzi last week at Daytona be very aggressive, be very competitive, but this week, Major's Garage has just not had the luck that they need. See the pack getting around the lap car of Dominic Lee in that 19. Dominic trying to give him room, trying to get on the apron, trying to give as much room as he can to these lead lap cars.
Yeah, we've already seen he has not had the greatest day, not the day he wanted today at Atlanta. So tough break for him, but letting the leaders by carefully and smart. So good by him. Outside lane, kind of trying to form up once again, trying to get up to our race leaders, but having a little bit of a difficulty doing that.
Yeah, the 01 leading the top. No, that's Richard Bunkley in the 01, up 29 spots. Where did he come from, right? We haven't heard from him all day. But that 01 Chevy Silverado trying to lead the top up now, side by side with that third lane.
I believe he was a lap down at one point. I am not 100% sure on that, but I believe I noticed him a lap down. Great job by him coming back, if so. But even moving from the back up to the front, great job by him. He's getting pushed by the 33 machine, who is also a part-timer. So great job by Zach Johnson, part-time driver, getting up here to the front.
And we saw him run his qualifying lap, and yeah, an open car here in the VRS Trucks Series. So for people that don't know, right? If you didn't, get signed to a team or pay for a charter, you have to kind of race your way in, just like you look at Daytona 500 qualifying with Elio Castroneves and Jimmy Johnson and then Anthony Alfredo, where they had to race their way in or qualify their way in on speed. That's exactly what some of these trucks have to do every week. They want to come in here and race in the VRS Truck Series, they have to pay that $10 entry fees. Oh, you see the 5 get sideways there. But they have to come in here, pay their way in, and still somehow try to qualify on speed during qualifying.
Yeah, the outside lane coming back just a tiny bit. They're now up to 4 cars back, 3 trucks back, you could say. But the 01 doesn't really have the help he needs by the 33 at the 1, as he's going to fall back just a little bit once again. But a lot of lap cars, a lot of lap traffic. They are working their way past once again. The 71 has, got up into the wall and came down just a tiny bit as he's in the wall once again.
I think that Noah Nicholson still has a ill handling truck. Ooh. You see that? Yeah, I mean, just trying to hold on to it. I mean, you might see race control maybe tell him to come down, park that thing down pit road, get some more damage fixed on it. I understand just trying to ride out laps, but when you're barely hanging on to it, I don't know if that's the safest for the pack to have him rolling around the track.
Yes, I mean the pack's too wide. We haven't seen a lot of 3 wide into tonight's race, which I'm kind of shocked. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see it soon. As once again the race is coming to a close pretty shortly. We are zooming through this race, and yeah, this race has been exciting, very, very exciting so far.
I definitely agree. The only guy I see that has been taking a 3 wide is the 69 Noah Hamilton. We've seen him getting a couple of incidents here. Not sure if I'm the biggest fan of that yet. I mean, 50 to go, so a lot of racing left to go, but obviously he's an open driver trying to get his way up through the pack, trying to get a good finish here. You're gonna see him give a huge shot to the 81 here, but not sure if I'm the biggest fan of Hamilton doing that yet, especially with no friends with the 69 open car. I mean, he's out here just trying to race, but I guess at the end of the day, that's what everybody else is trying to do.
Yeah, once again, the outside lane hasn't really moved up. As we've been talking about them, the inside lane is just so dominant at the moment. I mean, 3 strong cars, I should say, leading this pack on the inside. Boyd Hogan, definitely one of them, has made his way up front and proved how fast he is throughout this race, as he's doing a great job pushing the 6 machine, keeping him up in front. And I just don't see the outside lane getting up to them anytime soon with how the inside lane is running.
Yeah. I honestly think this 30 truck of Blake Robach has got some speed in it. It's just been kind of masked by the blinking and the chaos he's kind of, not intentionally, as we say, he's blinking out it once again. He's unintentionally caused by just the internet issues he's had. I think that 30 truck has some space in it if he can just, somehow figure out how to keep his internet under control. Because once again, we talked about it in the pre-race, you have to be able to trust the guys up front here to work with you. And if you're blinking, pretty hard for someone to want to go with you if there's a chance that you blink out and potentially put them in an added risk of wrecking their truck.
Yeah, if I see the outside lane and I'm the 87 running, I'm gonna try to jump up to the outside, because 87 currently clear. If I'm him and I see a run coming up behind, which He's no longer clear. I'd take the run on, move up to the outside and try to lead that as much as I can, but doesn't look like he's doing that at the moment.
Remember, you have to think about when we went green here, we were what, 59, 58 to go. So I can see why you want to ride line here. You do need to save a little bit of fuel to make it to the end if you want to not have to stop for fuel, and obviously, optimally, you want to try to ride it out. Just,
Ooh, we have a truck on the wall in the back.
yeah,
I believe that was the 69.
and that's Noah Hamilton. We talked about him making moves. Oh,
Ooh, whoa! And that was a huge hit. That is gonna bring out a yellow. Oh
caution,
my,
not out yet.
he toes it. Wow, no yellow. I kind of want to look back at that. I mean, what happened? That's the car is still stopped in turn 3, by the way, as the leaders are coming around. Yellow is finally out, as they are. Yeah, that was something else. We're gonna take a look at it. HVTV replay.
You're gonna see the 69.
Whoa, just went right.
Yeah, we'll go back because he got into the wall a little bit before this. Yeah, going into 3 and 4. I don't know if he got some help. It looks like he was just trying to once again be a little bit too aggressive. Trying to take it 3 wide. Was not room there. Got kind of pushed up into the wall. Once again, I don't know. Looks like he maybe lost the car. And then, fortunately, the 46, man.
Oh man, the 46 has been fast all day, and that's gonna end his race. 99 got a little bit of damage from the 46. And that is race ending right there. Part-time driver, I believe, taking out a full-time driver, so or charter driver, I should say, and that is not what you want to happen if you're the 46 machine, and he is definitely not happy at all with the 69. With that incident happening with 38 laps to go.
Now, I'm interested to see how this race control is going to look at this 46 kind of sitting up here. Obviously, in real life, you can't tow, but obviously, this is a simulator. You have every opportunity to get this car out of harm's way, and even the caution's out, and he's still sitting here revving his engine, trying to get this thing going. Obviously, he's not going anywhere. I'm interested to see if the how the race control is going to look at that, because obviously he had every opportunity to get that car off the track, maybe save this caution from coming out, and you know, potentially. I mean, that this will definitely alter the race. Now this gives everybody an opportunity to come down and top off on fuel versus, before then, we know that 96 had to come in again. We know the 6 had to come in again, and we now know everybody else can make it on fuel from here on out.
Yeah, Chris Davis, gonna get a lap back. Same with a lot of these guys lined up, but I believe Boyd Hogan is gonna be our race leader here in just a second. And man, this is crazy, 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 crazy. I should say.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, just throw any strategy you had out the window. Fuel saving. I mean, 37 to go. You got 4 fresh Goodyear tires. You've got enough fuel to make it to the end. I mean, it's time to go. I mean, there's nothing to lose. There's no fuel saving, no tire saving. I mean, you might have to save a little bit of tire, but to give yourself an opportunity to maybe move your way up through the field. But besides that, I mean, there's really nothing to lose now. 37 to go. It's time to get up there and try to race for this win.
We are lined up side by side now. Choose our driver chose. I think we missed that just a little bit, but Boyd Hogan, still our race leader. The 76 on his outside, and the pace car is gonna get ready to hook a hard left on the pit road, and we are getting ready to go back racing with just 36, nearly 35 laps to go. So, I mean, we're nearly. I mean, you can think of just like stage 1 left. I mean, 30 laps technically is. I mean, this race is to a close. We're gonna see drivers start to race aggressive, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see how these drivers are gonna react.
I mean, it's definitely going to be chaotic here with how hard it looks how hard it's looked to pass and get around and make moves. So definitely going to see drivers trying to make something happen here at the end. But going to the Geico restart zone, 96 with a pretty good launch here, and he's going to bring us back to green.
The inside lane has controlled every restart, besides the restart where Jacob Quill had that technical difficulty, but a huge start for Boyd Hogan. Same with the 30 behind him of Blake Roebuck. As man, they've showed speed all race long, and I feel like they're gonna be two drivers we have to look out for at the end of this race. I think they both are the dominant trucks at the moment.
And look at William Ransone. It started on the outside front row, but guess what? No one went with them. Everybody filed down to the bottom, and now he's back here and be almost outside the top 10. Not even completing a lap.
Yeah, that is very disappointing for him on the outside lane. Just didn't have the help. Everyone jumped to the inside, and yeah, we have the first 4 cars clear. As now we see, I believe that is sorry, that is the 01 Richard Bunkley jumping up to the outside in front of the 76. He's going to try to get up to the front.
I've seen this 01 trying to lead the top basically this last kind of run. Trying to do something. I mean, you can't really win the race riding in line on the bottom. So Richard along with Ransome trying to work this top off, but really not really very well put together. Everybody's still trying to file down to the bottom. Now you see the 34. It's Mike George file up to the top, trying to help out this top lane, trying to get rolling.
Yeah, as they're now lined up side by side with the 6. They're doing everything they can to get up to the front. And with that outside lane, they get the huge run on exit each lap, which will help them. It definitely helped them there. They're now lined up for second. The 01 and the 76 are charging up to the front of the field right here.
Yeah, you saw the 76 push the 1 out to lead here and really didn't lose that a lot of momentum, even though he didn't have the help. Now you're going to see the 76 get back to the 01 going into 1 and 2. They give a huge shot out. Maybe going to get side by side with that second row coming out of 2.
The 76 just looks really loose in the corners. If you watch him compared to the other trucks, it looks to be like he's struggling just a little bit to keep that truck safe, as the rear end just looks to be kind of snapping out by itself. As there it is, right once again, it's checked up the 34 a little bit, and that might be stopping the outside lane from possibly going a little bit quicker than they are right now.
Yeah, it's just really sketchy, especially coming out of turn 4 with these trucks. I mean, you basically go from that baking to basically a kind of a flat track right onto the tri-oval, and it really upsets the rear ends of these trucks, because you see, look how much banking they get all the way back down to just a flat area just within the snap of a fingers. And if you don't have the right setup to adjust to that, it really makes it hard for these drivers to accommodate, especially in the tri-oval. You saw so many wrecks throughout the race of people getting upset in the tri-oval and just kind of coming down the track and taking out some other trucks. So you're starting to see the 76 show those same symptoms, and unable to try to get this top lane up side by side with the race leader.
30 laps to go, coming to 29 to go, and we're lined up side by side. Nearly they're out this front pack, and still out in front, Boyd Hogan. What a heck of a show he's putting on for all of us. He's been dominant, qualified up front, but got the end of line penalty and had to make his way up back to the front, and he did indeed, and he's been doing really good all race.
I mean, when you go out there and win at Daytona, I mean, it definitely shows the rest of the field that at least at these, super speedway plate drafting style tracks here in the truck, which is a lot more than really in any other series, it really shows that, he's going to be someone to look at, to beat, right? Because not only Daytona, not only Atlanta are the drafting style tracks. Really, almost every mile and a half is a draft style track here in these trucks, with how much downforce and how much just bogged down these trucks are compared to the Cup cars. So, I mean, he's really showing that he might be already an early contender for this championship.
The 76, William Ransone, gets left out to dry on the outside. He's 3 wide on the top. We saw him wasn't really car wasn't handling as well as he wanted to. He actually got a hold of the wall there in turn 2. managed to keep it straight. So another 33 is second on the outside. He's going to get the chance to push the 0-1 to the lead here. 33, once again, is one of those charter drivers, so he had to qualify his way into this race, and look at him in the top 5 doing really good, putting on a show.
Not really showing maybe that he could get picked up by a team. It's definitely something that can happen, right? The team owners can, kick a driver out, say, hey, we found Zach Johnson. He's doing a better job as well.
Oh, the 0-1's in the wall. That's going to check them up.
A huge checkup. They're going to be almost 4 wide going into turn 3. Now 3 by 3 by 3, 2 rows deep. Jacob Quill in the middle now.
Man, that killed the outside line completely.
And that was a product of just kind of pushing in the corners. You saw him getting to the back of the 0-1. The 0-1 had to chase it up the track. I mean, with 25 to go, I don't blame them. They have to go. They need to have to try to make that top work. And fortunately, the 0-1 just couldn't take the push on the exit, and he's going to get shuffled back now to that 8th place spot.
Mike George leading the outside lane. Look at him coming up with a huge run on the outside of Boyd Hogan. Looks like he might have gotten the lead there. Just barely did not. Very, very close, but look at him leading the outside here. Leading the field now out of turn 2. Mike George, our new leader. Outside lane is moving.
Now you got those faster guys out there now that knows what to do. Oh, it was a little contact for the race lead. The 96 comes up and kind of door checks the 34, but now you have the guys who are willing to take these shoves and give them, right, to get that top to work. And now, side by side for the race lead, you're going to see the inside advantage in the corner. But as long as they can get linked up on the exit, the outside should be a little bit better down the straights.
The 81 coming to give a bump to the 34. There it is, the 34 coming right back, entering the corner, but this is where you see the inside lane start to pull away as the 30 car, second on the inside, gets a little bit loose and isn't directly behind the 96. That's going to let the outside lane pull away just a little bit. The 34 will lead that lap here at Atlanta with only 22 laps to go.
Now you're going to really start to see what the handling of these trucks are going to be like. You're going to see who can take the pushes the hardest, who can lead these lines, who can push the hardest. Because now, with coming to 20 to go, I mean, if you got nothing to lose, you have to go out there, try to make aggressive moves to get yourself in a position to at least go and try to race for this race win, locking yourself into the playoffs. With an off week next week at Coda, there's a lot on the line here going into Las Vegas.
Someone I noticed coming up, the 77, Jacob Quill. He's the 3rd truck on the outside. We know him. He's aggressive. He wants to win. Like Christian mentioned earlier, he's racing to win. He wants to win a championship. He wants to win as many races as he can. So I look at him and I expect some aggressive moves coming soon. Because this race, 20 laps to go, he's right there.
Something I'm noticing out of the 77 is even in the dirty area, he can get down and kind of run the middle. You see that 34 and the 81. They kind of are walking it up the track almost. You see it once again, the 34 and the 81 kind of a little bit higher than the 77. It looks like that truck can just kind of rotate wherever he needs it to. So that's definitely going to come into effect when you come down maybe under 10 to go, where you have to start making maybe 3 wide moves, maybe trying to put some guys in some bad positions.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Leaders side by side, as there's a little bit of smoke there. I don't know what from, but nothing to worry about at the moment. Looks like a lap car trying to get out of the way.
Looking now, I mean, we kind of have a little car pack here. You see some stragglers in the back trying to keep up. But besides that, really the top 10 under a blanket, and then you maybe have a tiny little pack here. Maybe just trying to keep their truck clean. You see Michael Deitch back there. You see the 74 of Chris Davis, who was leading this race earlier. Back on the lead lap, but right now just riding back there into P16 position.
Yeah, I mean, both lines are pretty much even at the moment. We see the 34 and the 81 just perform really well on exit, and then the 96 and the 30 come right back in the corner. So it's about even at the moment between these two lines, but you know, coming to this finish, the outside lane at the moment with how it's performing looks to be the one to be in with the 34 leading. Mike George in the best position at the moment. So the 96 and the 30 working as hard as they can, but coming to 16 laps to go, we're going to see some aggressive racing pretty soon here.
Well, you have to think about when you put yourself in the spot to potentially race for the win, or at the very least a podium to get that interview at the end of the race. You have to pick the line that has the run to get you to the line, and that is the top, right? Obviously, the bottom is better in the corner because it's just a shorter way around. But going to the line, obviously, you have to get there, and that top is going to have the run regardless. Unless something terribly wrong happens on the top, they're going to have the advantage coming out of the corner. You're going to see right here with the 34. He's going to race at the line, and he probably will lead this lap. Yes, he will. Really, the top is where you need to be unless you have someone on that bottom who's really good at shoving that leader out in front. I mean, I feel like the top is where you need to be here with, you know, coming to 15 to go, 10 to go.
The 30 got really loose out of turn 4, which I think slowed them down a little bit. That was about as loose as I've seen him get all race long, and I don't know if it's tires or what, but you know, he's got to get that truck in control here. You know, that anything could ruin that inside line's momentum, which is what you do not need with less than 15 laps to go.
Yeah, for that inside to be competitive, you just cannot afford to have checkups and stuff. You have to have those guys all linked up, and I feel like the 6 ton, you really have to give credit to the 6 right here. That is of Jarrett. He has to, you know, I feel like the third car in line is always going to be kind of like the guy who has to be up there to make that line work. It doesn't matter if the pusher is doing his job. If he doesn't have help to keep him up behind the leader, there's really not a whole lot you can do with that lane. And I feel like, you know, you have Jacob Quill back there in the third line, and that's really a good guy you want in that third place spot. And the 6 of Jarrett has also done a really good job, you know, giving the 30 opportunities to get to the 96. And now you're starting to see the bottom start to pull just a little bit now.
Here comes the outside lane, though, fighting right back. Saw a little bit of them, or the 81 and the 34 disconnect for a little bit. We're not together, and that allowed the inside lane to pull away. But look at them now, back side by side for the lead between the 34 and the 96. Coming out of turn 2, you will see the outside lane roll out of the corner, get the huge run. Let's look at them back up to the front.
Yeah, I think you had to see the 81. Maybe he was trying to cool temps. Obviously, with really every car in the sim now, you can't really push hard for a long time. You have to worry about cooling temps. Oh, Jacob Cole trying to make the bottom. See, well, that was a tight squeeze for that 77 machine. But yeah, you have to, you know, in a way, kind of conserve temps here. We see some smoke up there. That's once again the 71.
That's the second time trying to get out of the way of the leaders and getting completely sideways with that damage, which could alarm the pack. I mean, they see smoke, they check up. I mean, it's what drivers do. They do not want to be in a wreck, so drivers are looking at that and they're saying, what the heck? Why is there smoke? What's going on? And, you know, they may check up and stuff, and then there's no wreck, and they're like, well, what was that for? And, you know, that could affect how this pack is racing.
You see them get around the lap car. Patrick McPeak in the 61, not the day he wanted. Really quick at Daytona, also got caught up in some messes out of his doing, and right now sitting 13 laps down now. Not the race Patrick wanted. And he came into here also saying that he felt really confident coming into the race, coming into the season, right? A solo man team racing for, you know, the team of John Connor Racing. He has no teammates, so as well, but not the race he wants. But you start to see this top start to work a little bit more, and now you actually see the bottom kind of disconnected.
Oh, sideways, the 81 hangs on to it, almost a near wreck right there, out in the front of the pack, as the 81 got loose on the exit of turn 4 and got a little bit of bump from the 01, and the 01 contact into the wall. Admins decided to throw a quick yellow, but everyone seemed to save it. As they were just waiting for the yellow to be thrown, or the wreck to stir up. Sorry, and they just threw that yellow quick, and that's gonna stack everyone up. I think we're I think this is where the race starts to lead up to a lot of aggressive drivers right here.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the race control maybe a little bit hot on the button, but you know that's the decisions they have to call. I mean, I'll definitely kind of sway towards their side. It definitely looked like there was gonna be a wreck, and drivers. I mean, we've got a lot of talented guys out here, and they were able to save it. I mean, I'm just as surprised as everybody else is that they kept those trucks going straight. But the race control decided to press the button, and caution's gonna come out. And we should be going to green here with what, 5 to go to decide this race at Atlanta.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I mean, you see, I mean, a lot of strong drivers just in the top 4 alone. Mike George, you saw him doing really well leading the outside. Second place driver Boyd, or sorry, Matthew Campbell, also fast, was doing a great job pushing the 34, and then the two behind them, that's gonna be Boyd Hogan, the 96 machine, and Jacob Quill right behind him. Those two, we've seen this entire race up front, fast, and I'm excited to see what they'll be able to do in a quick second.
I'm surprised to see guys like Roebuck and that 6 machine that come down. I mean, they were what, sitting there in the top 5, right? Now they're gonna give all this track position. I mean, a little bit of track position, I guess, and gonna come down, take some tires, take some fuel. They're gonna be sitting at the very best of 10th. You see the 6 come out, appear out here. It's like he's gonna line up in P10. I don't know if that's what I mean, that they're gonna have to really work hard to get back up there. But you have to think about it. They have 32 lap fresher tires. That means those trucks are gonna be hooked up a lot more than your race leaders. And when it comes down to handling, right, that's exactly what you need here at the end. I mean, you saw, look at Ryan Blaney this yesterday. He got wrecked out by Carson Hocevar. Came down, got some fresh tires, drove through the field, ended up finishing what, P4 or P5 at that track. Drove all the way through the field with what, 10 to go. Ended up getting a good finishing position. So you might see those guys back there who took those tires be able to do the same.
Shoes cone right here. This will line up possibly our last restart. I mean, this is what it all comes down to. And wow, first 3 trucks choose the inside lane. I did not expect that at all. Boyd Hogan had the chance to lead the outside lane, and he chose inside. So now he will be the 3rd car stuck on the inside lane, and Jacob Quill now leading the outside lane. Huge spots gained for Jacob.
That's an old man moment for a lot of these drivers. They know that truck is fast. I don't think it's as quick as it was at the start. I think that damage did a little bit alter the speed of this Toyota, but I still think it's a top 2, top 3 truck. Because you saw once he wasn't able to kind of give pushes and take pushes the way he did before he got caught up in that wreck. But I mean, we still know, regardless of how fast that truck is, Jacob Quill, very aggressive driver, very talented driver, and he's going to do what he needs to try to win this race.
Richard Bunkley getting an end-of-line penalty, choose cone violation. Tough break for him. He was up there in 7th, as this could be our final restart here. So he will have to go to the end of the line. It's going to be a Chevy Toyota front row, and once again, Chevy Toyota right behind them. Toyota's locked up on the top. Chevy drivers locked up on the bottom. We'll see who goes up front. Coming here, pace car, hard left on the pit road. Here we go. Here, back at Atlanta.
You see them getting the guy Carissa zone 34.77. Now going the 4 to go here at Atlanta. We're back green.
Great start by the inside lane. Clears the top line completely. Jacob Quill staying on the outside at the shot to jump up down low in front of Boyd, but decided to stay up top, and he's going to get left out to dry and go to the rear. So Boyd Hogan in that 3rd position. If he gets the run, I say he jumps up to the outside, and the 16 is going to go with him, but we'll have to see how it plays out. But Chevy's with a huge start as well. They jump up to the outside. Boyd Hogan up to the inside, fighting for the lead now on the inside of the 34.
That's an interesting call to go out of your way to give them the bottom. But now you're going to see Jacob Quill, looked like he was going to go to the top, decides to go to the bottom. But yeah, interesting call. But someone I want to shout, where did Michael Deitch come from? P6,
look at him
to go.
third, now fourth car on the bottom. The sixth car jumping to the low. As the low side is a 3 wide back there. The third lane. The sixth car doing everything he can. Back 2 wide as we have a spin in the back. Yellow is out. Jacob Quill in the outside wall as well. As we are going to have a green-white checkered finish. I believe that was our part-time driver, the number 33 machine.
Is Julia nowhere to go? She's going to tank slap the side of that 33. And we're going to go and Vicky Gander. What happened?
I saw the 33 part-time driver, charter driver, I should say, qualified his way in. He was involved there.
I think this all started with the 33. It looks like kind of not being clear of what he wants. Oh, that was the 87. Just
87.
He got really squirrely, gone to the left rear of that 33, and really not a lot.
Oof.
That
74 just pushing the 76, and they're in it.
You see up front, Jacob Quill getting into the wall. It looks like he's going to make some contact with. Looks like that's the 23 Munatsi, but looking on board with the 33. Looks like he's going to get tagged by the 01.
Maybe? Ooh,
yeah, definitely gets him in contact. And then here comes Julia. I don't... man. Tough race for her. I mean, she was already several laps down, but, you know, she's new to the sim.
Ends it.
Yeah, she's pretty new to the sim, you know, talking with Corey, our league owner. Pretty new to the sim. Running a full-time schedule, but just not running all the races. So Julia's still trying to get her bearings down of what, you know, she needs to do, right? I think looks like the truck somehow did not blow an engine, so but I think right now the goal for her is to try to, you know, finish some races, get some races under her belt to try to get stuff done.
Yeah, also tough luck for Jacob Quill. I saw him hard hit into the outside wall. You know, after that wreck in the back, and he's out of it. I think he's in pit road taking some damage. And yeah, that right side of the 77 truck is, I mean, destroyed. Look at the right front, some right rear damage too. I mean, that truck, yeah, that's killed. Does not look good. Not a good position for for Jacob Quill to be in right there.
And you just saw, if you're paying attention there, you saw him check the steering to see if it was straight, and you actually saw him get out of that truck. No driver in that truck anymore, so I think he's pretty much done for the night. Unfortunate, very fast machine, but that's just racing at the end. You have to be aggressive. You have to put yourselves in spots to do that, and unfortunately, Jacob probably going to be out of the race early here.
Boyd Hogan, our race leader here. Look at that. Decided to choose the inside lane. Will lead us to the green flag here for possibly the final restart. Will be a green-white checkered finish. Has a 16 right behind him. On his outside are teammates, though. The 34 and the 81. We've seen them work very well together, so they're lined up. And we'll see how they do. We just need... Or if I'm the 34... I'm looking at the 96. I need to get a perfect start. I need to go as soon as the 96 goes, because even as like millisecond late can ruin. I mean, not ruin, but like could affect your how you finish. I mean, it all comes down to this. All comes down to this restart. All comes down to how you drive these last couple laps. So we're gonna see how these drivers handle this.
You have teammates front two on the top, the 34, the 81. Teammates for that back road Bandit Racing team, so that's probably why you see them hooked together, and that's why they're probably working pretty well together. 96 and the 16, obviously not teammates, different manufacturers, so but we've seen the 16 do a pretty good job getting that 96 out to the front. Obviously that 96 very strong forward, but lights are off on the pace car. Is going to take the hard left turn. We're going to go green for some overtime racing here at Atlanta.
It all comes down to this. Ford versus Chevy front row. We are back green. 96. Huge jump. 16 right behind him. 96 pulls out just a little bit. Still side by side for that second position. Great jump by the 96 machine of Boyd Hogan.
You see all those drivers jump to the bottom, so not a lot of help from the top. You still see the 34 and the 81 trying to work side by side together, but now it's a 4v2 bottom versus top.
The 16 right on the 96 bumper, pushing him as hard as he can into turn 3 and 4. Clear by 2 at the moment. The outside lane doing everything they can to jump back as they come to the white line, or the white flag here, as we're 3 wide for second place. That's going to let Boyd Hogan go drive away a little bit, but that's going to let them get a run behind.
Chris Mathis, where did he come from now? Looking on the bottom of the 96. He's going to try to look
Look
for
at
the
that.
race lead. 34 with contact with the 6. 81 in the wall. And now the 17 is going to jump out in front of the 96. 96 looking for it. Now the 17 with no help.
Switchback move to the inside. Boyd Hogan to the lead. The 6 right behind him. It's going to be a drag race. We'll see if the 6 makes the move to the line. He makes the move to the outside. Boyd looks up to block. Side by side, coming to the line. Boyd Hogan wins it here at Atlanta. What a finish. What a race.
Yeah, back-to-back Daytona, Atlanta. What a race, what a finish, and what a win by that 96. And now, if the pressuring is on now, that's back-to-back wins. Obviously, Super Speedway win, but that's back-to-back wins regardless. So, what a race, and what a dominating performance by this 96. Been up here, was the front all race. And he's going to take home his second checkered flag here in the VRS Truck Series.
Great way to start the season off for that 96 machine. That is how you do it. Man, strong car all night long. We saw him qualified on the front row, got that penalty, worked his way up to the front, and now look at that. He's burning it down on the front straight away. Boyd Hogan, our winner here at Atlanta. What a finish. Great job by him.
I mean, there's not really anything else. I mean, he put all the cards right. You know, he put all of his eggs in the right baskets, and when you seen him burning it down, I mean, what a performance. And I mean, just gotta give a round of applause to him. I mean, started P2, got an EOL, drove his way up to the field twice, and now sitting in here burning it down, gonna park that number 96 in victory lane.
Still burning it down. He's celebrating right now. He is pumped, and everyone is pumped watching him. That is great. Great job by him. And man, that is how you do it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Boyd Hogan, our winner here at Atlanta. Man, that was a great race.
Not only was it a great race, we're probably going to have some great interviews here. We're going to let him finish burning it down. Then we're going to go ahead and talk to your top 3 after a quick commercial break here so we can pay the bills here. So we'll be right back after our words from our sponsors here, and we'll talk to your top 3 finishers here at Atlanta.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
back here from Atlanta Motor Speedways, we just saw an amazing finish. You saw Boyd Hogan barely hold off Jarrett Ferreira. 3/100ths of a second. But guess what? I guess it's time to go what you guys all want to hear. We're going to go ahead and talk to you top 3 finishers tonight. And that, well, right now, actually, we only have Jarrett in the booth. Chris Mathis in that number 17 truck not with us. So we'll go ahead and talk to your P2 finisher once we can get him up in the booth here.
Give us one moment, ladies and gentlemen.
Alrighty, as we're going to go ahead and drag in P2 finisher Jarrett Ferreira, the number 6 machine. Hey Jared, it's Christian and Gavin up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, an exciting finish for you. Kind of came out of nowhere at the end there with all the calamity, with the aggressive blocks and moves there at the end. But walk us through racing, especially walk us through that finish. What was going through your head?
Well, I restarted on the top, and I wasn't super confident about it in P6, and it just opened up. And then they were throwing blocks on each other, and I just kept pushing the car in front of me. And thought I was going to get it there, but just a little bit too short.
Well, we saw you involved in a couple incidents early on. You want to walk us through those incidents?
It was a rough start. So last week, Daytona, I got wrecked pretty early. So my goal tonight was just to make it to the end and just get some sort of points. And it just, right from the start, it was just bad. But once we got out front, the setup was unbelievably fast. Yeah, and once I got up there, I could kind of control it and not have to worry about getting run over by somebody 10 minutes after a wreck. But yeah.
Yeah, it looked like throughout the race, a lot of the trucks just seemed pretty sketchy to drive. Like everybody, it seemed like everybody had some types of issues. Was that something that you felt like was, a common thing with the handling of these trucks? Obviously, this track a little bit different than your typical Daytona Talladega. Was that something that you were feeling in the car, or just that you saw throughout the race? It felt like no one could really get a good handle for handling wise on these trucks.
Yeah, I don't know about everyone else, but for my setup, I obviously really fast early in the run, and about midway through the run, it starts getting a little bit loose, and you just got to manage it for 5 to 10 laps, and then it goes back towards the neutral side, and it's actually pretty good. So I felt like if we got some long green flag runs, I could probably lead some more, be up front, control the race a little bit more, but just so many cautions, it never really got that opportunity.
Green flag runs there at the end. I mean, obviously with Daytona, with Atlanta, it's pretty easy to wreck here, especially with how narrow this track is. But walk us through that finish. I mean, what more do you think you needed to get around Boyd there for this win?
I think I just needed to make the move a little earlier. But the way we got clear of the 17, I just didn't have time to make the move earlier. So I think the only way I could have maybe made the pass is if I doored him a little bit more, or had some help.
Well, you had a great race. I mean, second place finish. I know you talked about how you didn't have the best week last week, but after this week, a long season ahead. How do you feel going into these next couple weeks?
I'm excited to get to some tracks where we don't have to draft, where we can kind of get spaced out and actually race, and hopefully have some more cleaner races.
I definitely agree. That the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series going to Circuit of the Americas or COTA over there in Austin. Unfortunately, you guys don't get to join in on the fun there But you go. Is there anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors, family, friends watching at home? Anybody you want to thank for this podium finish?
Yeah, I want to thank Romanowski teammates, all my zip tie teammates, all my buddies that helped me be as good as I need to be. Just need to be a little bit better next time.
Say for you getting back there, but we're gonna let you go on and celebrate with your friends and family. Have a good rest of the night. But once again, congratulations on your P2 finish.
All right, thank you.
Yep. That was your second place finisher of Jared Ferreira. Still have not seen Chris Mathis in the VC, so maybe outside of this sim racing hobby. So, but I guess it's time to talk to the man of the hour. We're gonna go ahead and talk to your back-to-back winner here, and Boyd in this number 96 machine. Hey Boyd, it's Christian and Gavin Austin here up in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Well, I mean, back-to-back, you can't really get any better than this at the start of the season. But we saw that controversial penalty at the start of the race with you and I think the pole sitter getting an ear well. But
Yeah.
you guys, at least you getting the drive through the field and kind of start to do what you did at Daytona. But just walk us through your race, walk us through that finish, and walk us through, what was going through your mind during that green-white checker.
Yeah, I think early on it was kind of just make sure that, I wasn't getting caught up in anything too ridiculous, and then I wasn't really going to race too hard or do anything too crazy till we were at least top 10, top 8, and then as soon as we got there, it was pretty good. I got a good gauge for where the truck was at around others and felt good about that. So I pretty much I was trying to hang out, slowly work my way up through the top 10, and then I don't know, we were pushing around for the lead, and somebody came up and about killed the whole field. So that kind of killed the truck, or the couple times I had to go. So props to him on getting back up to finishing P3 there. But at the end, you just want to be as in control as you can be, and the longer the laps went, the worse everyone else's handling got at when we had that long green run there before the late race yellows. And then no, once Blake lost his handling, it was pretty much game over for the bottom. Nobody could suck up to me, and we lost control there, and then got it back on the last restart to be able to kind of just decide where to go. And thanks to Jarrett and Kyle for their pushes, and Blake for trying as hard as he did, as long as he did. Definitely can't do it without help. So appreciate those guys, and it was a good race. Honestly, that was a good green run to the end. I didn't expect that, and that's twice now this season, so that's good to see.
Well, great start to the season, man. I mean, couldn't really be any better than this. So, going into the next race, I mean, what's your mindset? It's not going to be a super speedway type track.
Yeah, I think it's more relief for sure. Like I said, we've been the guys at factory there that I've been kind of working with as far as just like drafting and just trying to make sure that we're all kind of helping each other as much as we can. Keeping that coordinated it's hard to do the entire race, and you have guys like tonight where they'd break it up and they'd do a good job because they knew who was trying to work with who. And I think as the season goes on, you'll see more of that. Like by the time we get to Dega, everybody's gonna know for sure. But yeah, Coda, I think his next week. That one I'm pretty excited for. I like the road courses. Like Vegas, we got a couple good ones coming up. I feel like so it's a good start, but we're not done. Definitely want to thank Alex Link for this badass Reaper Speed Lab truck, though. This was insane. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't touch it really before the race started. I just showed up, and it was as good as I'd always expected to be. That was once I got to the lead. As long as there was a little bit of support behind me, it was really, really good. So glad we've had the trucks we've had here. Really excited for the coming weeks with it for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, you definitely showed that even though these are these super speedway style tracks, you might be one early contender for potentially locking up this championship. Obviously, long road ahead of us, and surprisingly to us, I think it's surprising to a lot of other people. No Coda on the Camping World Truck Series schedule, so obviously you guys are going off of that as well. So
Somebody told me 10 minutes ago it was Coda. I
Yeah.
gotta trust somebody else.
Yeah. Someone gave you some information, but yeah, I was just as surprised to look at the schedule to see Coda off the schedule as well, because I definitely think Coda is a great track for the trucks, but obviously that's not on my payroll to see
Yeah.
who can what tracks make the schedule or not. But before we let you go, obviously you already gave a little bit of your shout outs, but anybody else you want to shout out for this second win here at Atlanta?
Yeah, everybody at Legacy Esports for sure. Our pro team. Been a lot going on really the last year, and there's a lot of people who put up with a lot of bullshit from everybody else, but we're pretty chilling right now, and so thanks to those guys. Thanks to my new adopted son Tyler. I know he was watching, and wifey at home.
Go on to celebrate once again with friends and family at home, and once again, congratulations on now your second win here at Atlanta.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. And that was your race winner there, Hogan there in that number 96. Once again, win number 2, 2 for 2 on the season, right? I mean, like you said, Gavin, you can't really get any better than that.
Nope. That is how. I mean, that's the perfect start to a season anyone could ask for. I mean, first off, winning the first race of the season. I mean, that's perfect enough. And then going back to back. I mean, it can't get any better than that. Going on, I believe, Christian, you said Vegas. Next race, if he wins that, man, that is one heck of a start for Boyd's season. And man, I can't wait for the next race. After this race, it was incredible being in the booth and being able to call this race because man, it was fun to watch.
It was definitely fun to watch and definitely fun to call. Hopefully, you fans at home had a great time. If you guys enjoyed the show, make sure to type down in the comments, if you enjoyed it. But we're going to go ahead and look through your race results here for the VRS Trucks Series, brought to you by High Velocity TV. Obviously, we just talked to your winner, Boyd Hogan. He's going to take away win number 2 here at Atlanta. And Jarrett Ferreira, you saw 3/100ths off, so close with Chris Mathis close behind. But you're going to see Gregory Velati in that number 4 position, and that number 1. Very quiet day for him, but he's going to come home after getting that penalty, that drive-through penalty. Going to come home with a P4. See Kyle Sosnowski in the 16, P5, Blake Rubach, P6, Kyle Davis, Chris Davis, and P7, Manazzi Major, P8, Michael Deitch, P9, and Matthew Campbell. Going to round out your top 10.
11th place, William Ranson. Sorry, hold up. I'm having a bit of technical difficulties. Carl Field, Richard Bunkley, Lucas Edwards, Mike George behind him, rounding out the top 15. First car lap down, Dominic Lee in 16th, behind him, Caleb Begg. Marcin Hofner in 18th, Jacob Quill in 19th. We saw him running really strong. Same with his teammate Noah Nicholson, who will round out the top 20.
Yeah, seeing in 21st, you see Zach Johnson, one of the open cars in that 33, getting caught up late, 5 laps down. Garth Griswold going to finish 22nd. We also saw him with some unfortunate stuff. Patrick McPeak looked like he could have been pretty promising here, but unfortunately caught up with other stuff. Back there in that 23rd spot, also 13 laps down. Ray Gill and Noah Hunt, 24th and 25th. Michael Sellers in that number 24 is going to finish P26 with Julia in that number 5 machine, P27, 32 laps down. You're going to see Josh Stoles. Remember, we talked about him not having teammates, and maybe that come to bite him in the end here. But he's going to finish 28th out of the race early with Matthew Owens out, Jordan Slater out. And then rounding out the field here will be Noah Hamilton, who got wrecked out early, Ryan Taft, Aaron Longworth, Jeremy T-Bon, Keenan Kimber, and Rodney Pitcock running out the field. Obviously, Corey Mott, Ledger, Bob Baker, and Chase George, and everybody else did not qualify for this race. So, yeah, obviously did not get to race tonight. But once again, Gavin, what an incredible race to call. Really entertaining to watch. We'll be back here. I believe it's on the March 17th back here for Vegas. So a little bit of a different dynamic and a little bit different mindset going into Vegas.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to it as well. But for everybody here over at the High Velocity TV booth over here in Central Kansas, obviously Gavin over there in the Arizona area, we're gonna go ahead and call it a race here. But once again, you're watching the Fr8 208, brought to you by Fr8 Auctions over here with the VRS Trucks Series, once again here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. But once again, guys, thank you guys so much for coming out, watching the broadcast. Make sure to drop a like on this broadcast. Make sure to share it with friends and family. And once again, I hope everybody has a great rest of their Monday night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you back here for some racing over in Sin City over at Vegas. But once again, hope everybody has a great rest of the night, and we will see you guys soon.